Sorry. All right, we should be ready to go hopefully soon. Think I'm almost ready. Sorry about the late start. I haven't streamed in a hot second, so I mean, there's that. Not to mention the fact that for some reason OBS just doesn't like the application audio capture beta. I mean, it's still saying it's in beta technically, but the application audio capture beta just doesn't seem to be working at all anymore. I'm not sure why. Like, it used to work fine. It captures, the window capture works, obviously, thankfully, but the application audio capture, which is supposed to capture the audio coming from that window only, just that window, doesn't seem to be working. And it used to work all the time. So I'm not sure why. So I'm forced to have every single sound that's coming through my PC, through my headphones, is now being captured because the application audio capture doesn't work. So I think I closed everything so it won't have any weird sounds coming through, but I can't guarantee that.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome.
See, it's capturing the headphones. Let me shut the headphones one off and see if it works. Yeah, no, it's not capturing it. It's for some fucking reason it's not capturing it. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, no. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I don't know if it's just very wonky or what.
Going to be a rough night, I feel. But it is what.
All right, so at the very least, I am able to capture sound through obviously my headphones. Yeah. So I mean, but like I said, I don't like using this method because if, like, you know how, like, you'll be watching a stream or video and you'll hear like the computer dings or like, oh, chat messenger, oh, Telegram has a message or whatever, you're gonna hear a million dings coming up. Obviously, I don't like that. I mean, like I said, for this stream, I did close down all those programs, so it shouldn't do that anyway. But it's so much easier just to use the application audio capture, so it's only capturing the audio from that particular window. But for whatever reason, like I said, it just hasn't been working lately. I used to use it all the time, and it was always fine. So I don't know if like OBS fucked it up somehow or what. But I digress. Everything seems to be working okay-ish. And like I said, I haven't streamed in a while, so I am streaming. I know I have a shitload of stuff to catch up on. but I realized I never finished covering DSP's reaction to his own Joon the King documentary. I only got 2 parts in. I'm pretty sure it's only 2 parts in. Actually, let me double check. Because I gotta go back, so. Yeah, it was part 2. Do you want to do this instead? Fuck yeah, hold on a second. Sorry, guys, I'll finish this later. I'm gonna go talk to fucking Destiny about whatever the fuck he wants to. Right, so yeah, so I finished part 2. And I don't know how many parts he did. I know there's one other one after this, so there's at least 4 parts altogether. This is part 3. So I'm not sure if there's actually 5 parts or if there's just 4 parts, but anyway, we're going to get started because this is 3 hours long and I'm probably going to be pausing a lot because he's an idiot and he lies a lot. So there's that. I tried to add, like, I don't want to blow my ears out with how loud it is. So I tried to add a gain on the audio capture, so it's not too high, I hope. It's not going, I'm seeing the bar and it's not going into the red, so it should be fine. It's only going into the yellow. But if it is too loud, someone can let me know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anyone in chat right now, but if people start coming in, just let me know if it is too loud or anything like that. And we'll do that. Because to be honest, this is too long for me to just bother making an actual video out of it. So I'm like, I'll just stream it live and fuck it. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't really care if people watch. Well, I won't say that. I don't care if people are watching this live or not. I'm recording this for me because I think I have interesting and my own takes to put out regarding DSP that might be different from other detractors. So I don't really care if people are watching it live at the moment or not. I will still stream even if I have 0 people watching, because at least the content is out there, right? It's on my channel, and if people do want to watch it, they can watch it after the fact. I don't take down. I'm not DSP and take down the streams. Then we're gonna cut it up and put it into videos. I mean, I do that if there's like a small segment from a larger. If there's a small segment from a larger stream, I'll do that. But I'm not gonna do that for every single stream. That's just stupid. Anyway, so it's just easier for me to just stream this live instead of just recording this and doing it through a video that way. So anyway, let's get started.
What it is. I told you guys I would do it. I told you guys I'm going to put this behind me, and we're going to do it. All right? Okay, fair enough. So.
Hey, how you doing, Crafty?
Well, I guess I should get on camera. Hold on. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of this very lengthy full react to my documentary by Joon the King. Tonight's the serious night for sure. Like I said, everything was build up. Now is serious business beginning tonight.
AKA Leanna.
I want to get started relatively quickly, but FYI, I just want to, call out. It is a work night for me, even though we're doing drama content, which is what
my God,
wants.
You're begging already. We just started, bro.
The stream tonight in any way, that would be greatly appreciated.
Oh my God.
Notably, the King streak is continuing at 34. If we hit 35 tonight, I mean the momentum.
Yeah, this was
especially tonight.
Was a while ago.
It's going to be a very serious, heavy.
This was a little while ago. This was back when he was still doing the King streak, and not like whatever like he calls it now. It doesn't count. It's not a streak anymore, right? So like that number, it's like just the number of consecutive tips goals hit. Like, but it's not consecutive though. So we can't even call it consecutive, because consecutive would mean a streak, right? Like, that, like, because I think he's at what, like 89 or 90 goals hit, but it's not consecutive goals hit. Otherwise, it would just be a normal streak like this was. But that's not the case. It's just he's counting up arbitrarily for no reason. So it's like, all right, since because it's been more than 90 streams because he hasn't hit every single tips goal for the day or every single day. So it's not a consecutive because it's not going in order. It's not like every single stream that he does, he's making his goals. It's just I finally hit 90 goals hit out of who knows how many extra streams over 90. So I don't know why he's even bothering counting it up because it's not consecutive. It's not a streak anymore. I don't really understand what the point of him counting it up is. And then on top of that, his rewards for hitting goals hit is not good enough anyway. It's too close together. Every 10 goals hit, he's doing some other food thing, right? Because that's all he can think of doing. He's so creatively bankrupt. He can't think of anything else to do. So all he has is, let's go to McDonald's, let's go to Taco Bell, and hopefully they have something new. And obviously he's already running out of ideas because, let's face it, like, fast food places don't do new food items as often as he needs them to, because, like I said, it's every 10 goals that he's doing one of these stupid things. So he needs to, like, put space between it, so it's like, oh, maybe every 30 goals hit he can do it, every 40 or something he can do it then. But you don't need to do every single 10 because obviously he's already running out of ideas. I think the whole TikTok being banned, because obviously I guess it's confirmed now that TikTok is indeed officially going to be banned in the United States. Officially, right? Now, from what I'm to understand, they can't take the app off your phone. So as long as you still have it pre-installed on your phone, you're good to go. But you will no longer be able to download it anymore, I guess, right? Which is kind of bullshit in my opinion. Because, let's be honest, TikTok is probably one of the most popular apps in America. Social media apps. It's no longer X because Elon Musk ruined Twitter totally. Facebook has been going to shit for a long time. So, like, a lot of people love TikTok. So much so that they are saying, you know what? Fuck our government. You can't tell me what to do or who to give my private information to. I'm gonna go on to Red Tape. It's Red Tape or Red Tube, something like that. It's basically the Chinese equivalent to TikTok, essentially. So, which is kind of funny. Like, people like are so pissed off at our government for numerous reasons, not just because of Trump, but just in general. It's like, you can't tell me that I can or can't fucking frequent this app that I love. To spite you, I'm just gonna go onto Red Tape, onto RedTube or whatever. And I find that kind of funny. So I'm like, I'll probably divert to, like, either YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels. It's just, the problem is the algorithm for TikTok was so fucking good, and none of these other sites can really, American sites like Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, none of those algorithms are as good as TikTok algorithm was, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I find some interesting stuff on my Facebook Reels or whatever, but it's not as good or as relevant to my interests as TikTok was, so it kind of sucks. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are going to Red Tape, because they really like the algorithm that TikTok was using, and this one's so similar. So we'll see. I mean, to be fair, to be honest, our American government has already taken and stolen all of our private information anyway, as it is. So, and I'm sure China probably already, like, if what they're claiming is true about TikTok stealing user data, like, China, like, which I doubt, because I don't think they actually have any evidence to base this up based on the fact base that on any fact whatsoever. It's just the Red Scare again. Oh, let's worry about Chinese propaganda again. Oh no. Right? So it's like they're just basically afraid of communism. It's essentially. So it's like they have nothing to really prove it, but assuming what they were claiming is true, that China was running TikTok specifically to steal user data, then technically they already have all of our information anyway. So what difference does it make if these people go to red tape or not? Because they already have the information anyway, and they're still getting something they like out of it, aka the site or the algorithm. So I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb in my opinion. No, it's the opposite way in my opinion. As like a person who is left leaning a bit, but like it's become the opposite of what Twitter used to be. Because before Twitter used to be extreme, well, not extreme, but like pretty far left, and now it's like extremely far right. So it's like I can't say cis on there. My tweet gets I can't say cisgender as a qualifier because like if you don't know, cisgender is not a slur. It's never been a slur. It's literally just a word qualifier to mean not transgender. That's all it means. But I can't say that on there without my visibility of that post being limited because there is not free speech on there. Free speech on Twitter or X only applies to far right people, which basically means, oh, white people can say the N-word and not get banned. But I can't say cisgender. I can't criticize men. I can't, I mean, not like I would, but like these are things I can't do on Twitter. I can't criticize men. I can't criticize white people. You'll instantly either get banned or your posts will be limited. So really, you don't have freedom of speech. It's just gone from far left to far right. So they were overly eager banning people that were right leaning before, and now it's the opposite now. To where if you're left leaning, you're probably going to get banned because how dare you criticize white people or men or say cisgender? But you could send death threats, have hate speech, and say the N word. But I was seeing like actually black people saying the N word on Twitter. They were getting banned, but all these white bastards are saying the N word and they weren't getting banned. So that's kind of fucked up too. I'm getting sidetracked, but oh, you mean on red tape? Yeah, probably. Because obviously you're going to have a lot of banning going on. Like you can't say anything bad about China on red tape, otherwise you probably will be banned. I digress. So I've gone off on a bit of a topic, but yeah. So it's like Twitter and Facebook have both become extreme far right leaning platforms, safe spaces and hug boxes. You know, the same thing that the right leaning crowd was like mocking left people for. Like, oh, you damn liberals, you want a safe space and a hug box? Well, look at what Twitter and Facebook have become. All these social media things have obviously turning right, are leaning right. So they're essentially just not free speech at all. You don't have the freedom to actually say whatever you want on them, actually. And they're just safe spaces and hug boxes for right leaning people. Which, I mean, it's fine. Like, right people can deserve hug boxes and safe spaces as well as left leaning people, but like all the left really have now in terms of social media is blue sky. That's really it. Because they've taken over X, or Twitter, I mean, which used to be a lot better, and now it's shit. Tumblr is long dead. Facebook has been shit for a long time. There's another one too. YouTube, Twitter. But oh fuck, there's something else I wanted to say too, and it just left me. But yeah, Facebook is getting rid of all its fact checking thing, which like is just going to propagate the more spread of misinformation and lies and propaganda, which is going to hurt people in the future. because like there's already so much misinformation going on about transgender people that a lot of like right-leaning people don't even understand what transgender even is, and like is wildly misinformed, and like all they know about it is the lies that are being spread and the misinformation that's being spread, which makes them view transgender people as like criminals and sex abusers, which isn't the case, obviously. And that's going to get someone hurt or killed one day, unfortunately. Is it really? That's kind of stupid. But yeah, so it's like, like, I don't know. Like, I don't like, and like the right, like, it's fine if they want to make their own website that is right leaning. Like they still have truth.com or Truth Mobile or whatever Trump's site. You had QAnon, you had your own places, but now they're invading left spaces and turning them right leaning by buying them out, like what Elon did with Twitter. So it's like, oh, you like you're not allowing the left to have their spaces because you're converting all the previously left leaning spaces to the right leaning spaces, which is further dividing people, because that's all our government really cares about, is dividing people from left to right. I've never seen like the American people be so divided, taking sides left versus right like this before, and that's what they want. They want us divided and arguing with each other, so that we don't really understand that all government is bad. All of our government is corrupt and evil and trying to go at us, and they want us divided so we can't unite against them, really. Oh, was it? I don't know a whole lot about like foreign politics, to be honest. I don't even know who the current dictator of China is at the moment, to be honest. I don't remember what his name was.
Negative night for me, okay? And I definitely feel like tonight is going to be like time to
All right. Well, Bill, I think the thing is that like obviously he's a loser. We all know that. He's annoying as fuck. He has no talent. But makes for a very interesting case study, because I've never seen anyone so delusional before. Like I'm being serious. Like he needs a team of psychiatrists around the clock watching him and seeing how he thinks, because it's actually kind of interesting. It's not only is it a reality TV show for a lot of people, right? Because like most people, like you remember how like back like when you used to be like the water cooler shows, everyone would watch Lost and then get together and talk about it. Like in the Detractor community, Phil is that kind of show for us. We feel like, can you believe what this fucking idiot said? Oh my god, I can't believe it. That kind of thing. But also, it's like, it's so kind of like, even though he's a total piece of shit, obviously, it's really interesting and fascinating how his brain bends and folds in on itself to try to put him in the right. You know what I mean? Like, I did nothing wrong. Like, he could literally shoot someone and say, I did nothing wrong. It's really interesting.
answer up for a lot of stuff, okay? And so, obviously, I want to be focusing on that.
You've never seen a detractor talk about Phil before? Yeah, and that too, because like, if you don't know who he is, like you can't, like if you're an outsider and you see Phil, you'd be like, why does this many people hate on this guy? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You got to do like a deep dive to understand how much of a piece of shit this guy is.
I don't want to have to interrupt the middle
No,
of the night.
Crafty, I'm probably not. I really don't care about Trump. I don't really care about for him.
So we can hit that sooner rather than later.
But to be honest, I didn't watch Biden get sworn in either. Like, it's just boring to me. I'm not gonna watch that.
That would definitely be
no matter what the president
interrupt
is.
What we're doing. But I will be interrupting for shout outs if people contribute. I will stop and shout out contributions tonight. In fact, let's just start with that right now.
Oh, sure, why not? Keep begging more, Phil.
Or very much tweeted.
Skipping the tips.
Nathan Smith, best.
When does he actually start watching it?
Or you use not to cry, but for my sweat, because I think tonight I'm gonna be sweating it out with everything going on here. I'm gonna need
okay,
these, you know
Joker.
what I mean? Oh fuck. Well, here we go. Here it comes.
How can people unironically like him? That's what I don't understand.
There's no crying and reacting, but there is sweating. I'm gonna be sweating it out, man. All right.
He really is. Like, he has some like ungodly amount of luck. Meanwhile, like decent people, I mean, I'm not gonna use myself because I'm not that good of a person, but like decent people have like awful, really bad luck. And it's crazy the amount of good luck this fucker has, and it's squandered and wasted on him. The amount of times that this bastard, the opportunities this bastard was given to rise above and be the next PewDiePie or Markiplier is astounding. But you got actual good streamers. I'm not including myself because I'm not a good streamer. But you got actual good streamers that are playing games that are 10 times more entertaining, 10 times more funny, and just really good at what they do, and they get almost no one watching them. It's a crime.
So this is going to be something else tonight.
And he really does. Yeah,
okay?
he really gathered up the biggest dents on the internet.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I guess you are who you attract, I guess.
We got a lot of ground to cover here. All right. So, by the way, FYI, the documentary has hit over 500,000 views right now. Came out of nowhere, and 530,000 views, and still climbing.
That's so how many people hate you. I wouldn't be proud of that, Phil. That's just how many people hate your guts.
It's been live, a little over 2 days now, right?
Oh, I love scary videos. I'm a big horror fan, actually. So I watch a lot of horror movies and stuff like that.
And it's 530,000 and climbing. Can it make 1 million views by the end of the week? Because I told June.
Yeah, because they actually probably have a job and they're doing it for fun. Something they enjoy doing.
I said, if you really put the amount of effort.
I mean, I need to actually start streaming more video games. I was actually trying to get a game to work on an emulator, and I finally got it to work. And it shouldn't be that hard to get this particular game to work on an emulator, but for whatever reason, it just like it wasn't connecting with my controller, and then it was just took a couple hours to figure that shit out. Which it shouldn't have. But for whatever reason, it wasn't reading that ROM because there's a fan translated ROM.
And stuff into this, like you said you're going to. I think the documentary will hit 1 million views in 1 week, and it will be his best performing documentary of all time. But I don't know. I guess we're going to see. Okay.
Even if it was Phil, like that just shows how much of a piece of shit you are and how much people hate you. That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah, how it goes right now. It's a little bit plateauing, but it's still increasing. So I don't know. So anyway, oh, by the way, okay, the first tip of the night did come in. Let me check. Okay. Advertisements. What? Okay.
Look at how long he just every time he gets a tip in, I know I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry, but every time he gets a tip, it just halts the entire fucking stream. Couldn't you like normal people do the stream and then at the end you can read off all the tips? Why are you pausing the entire fucking stream to read every single fucking tip? It's so fucking annoying. I just want to get to the parts where he's actually reacting to the actual documentary. I don't care about him reading the fucking tips. No, it's not even the best DSP documentary out there, I don't think. There was I don't remember which one was my favorite. It's been a while, but
he had experience.
I liked Turkey Tom's was pretty good, actually.
Anxiety attack and was being driven to the hospital by paramedics.
That is.
But he's not getting any of the money made from that Joon the King makes from this.
Yes, that's correct. This is hard to remember. It's hard to remember exactly the sequence of events of this, and I'll tell you why.
Well, sometimes he puts his ego above money, sometimes, but not often.
So, I don't know if June will say this or not. We had already broken up. Okay? So, my ex and I were living together for about a year to a year and a half, and we weren't really
that's bullshit. I call bullshit on that, though.
But we didn't want to have
you guys weren't living that long before.
So we basically didn't really reveal any of this to the public. Now,
I gotcha.
Only like 2 months prior, or maybe even a few weeks prior to this occurrence right here, okay, we had got engaged. All that means is we had already had this ring, which we talked about last night. It was in the documentary. That was a ring that she had wanted me to get her for an engagement, and I had gotten it for her ages ago. But we finally decided, well,
what sense does that make if you're already broken up? Why would you engage? Why would you get engaged with someone if you're already broken up with them? It doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, we weren't really being romantic at all, and we were really trying hard to maybe make it work again. So we started.
Then you wouldn't get engaged. That doesn't make any
spending more
sense.
time together again. I gave her the ring, the proposal and all of that, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. We kind of knew
PSAs.
it wasn't going to
No,
work.
I don't think I
We
have.
wanted to give it one last shot, and it definitely didn't work. And basically, at this point, so whatever date this happened, because I think it was like April of 2017 or something like that, we had already.
Well, that's why. Yeah, they was. I guarantee you, they were still together up until Phil did that whole when Leanna had to go to the hospital because she was having a panic attack. I guarantee you that was like the final nail in the coffin, and that after that, that's when they broke up. I'm pretty sure that's when they actually broke up. Up until then, they were together. Now there was a lot of things that were like leading to Leanna finally getting like saying enough is enough with this asshole. But I guarantee you that fucking tell all with the hospital thing was what actually pushed it.
Already broken up. We had already had the big fight, and this isn't working, and yada yada yada. And basically, we were already in the process where Leanna was getting ready to move out. She had already had friends who she was going to move in with.
That would be funny.
It was just a
But
matter of
I think Kat, like obviously Kat's not in it for a relationship. She's in it because she's comfortable there. She doesn't have to worry about paying rents or paying her half of the bills. Phil covers all that. And it's clear it's not a romantic relationship at all. So as long as she's comfortable, she's probably not going anywhere.
finding like a way to get the stuff out of the house that she was taking with her. It was already in process. In fact, we already talked. It was going to be about a week process.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I forgot. I should probably speed this up a little bit because of how slow he talks.
Big, argument, stressful thing going on, like a day or two before this happened. And to be quite frank with you, I was worried something like this would happen because I figured she was probably incredibly stressed out, at wit's end, and now she's going to a stressful retail job. What's going to happen, right? So I was like really afraid something like this would happen.
That'd be really fucked up if he hits her up for the little amount of money that she makes.
God, all right. So now we're gonna get into
she's
the real
not
story.
working that many hours.
We're not together anymore.
To begin with.
We had already broken up, and then this happens on top of all of that extra stress. It's like, oh, come on. Okay, so let's continue.
And he's still wasting all his money and his income on WWE champions because he didn't sell that account. There's no way.
Squeegee. Happy to hear you opening up about whatever controversy you may have. It may us. We're gonna do tomorrow.
Can you actually react to it, please?
Because I haven't been about this shit. Okay, and now it's time for me to fess up.
Oh, bullshit.
Le Greedy Squeegee was your name? Well,
he found her in a sedated state, and after a 3-hour-long wait, they released her with no additional treatment. Frustrated at the lack of attentiveness, Phil said,
so now she's zonked out, she's sleeping, in the room because...
You should have showed the L Crimson King animation, though. That one's the best one. Just a little potato Phil.
Of, everything. She's still on the pills that made her all loopy or whatever. So, I mean...
Well, to be fair, I don't think she was actually using that PC anyway, though. We've seen pictures of it, just kind of sitting and collecting dust. It was she barely plays games as, and when she does, it's just on the Xbox.
We did on the way home. I stopped and we got food. We got chicken sandwiches and we just ate them, and now she's sleeping. So that's what happened. Unbelievable. Just look at me. Look at me.
No, he gets over $100,000 every year, but over the years over the years of him being online, he's probably gotten more than $2 million all together, and he has nothing to show for it. He doesn't own his home. He doesn't fully own his car, and I don't think his car is fully paid off. All he has to show for it is his consoles, and that's it. His PCs that he just got, but for over $2 million, bro, you could have bought a fucking house at that point. You could have had a lot of money set up for retirement or something.
Look at my face. You can tell this is it. I'm crushed. Not only is my life falling apart all around me,
okay,
my business is falling apart. My personal life has now fallen apart.
It still is, Phil. It still is.
It's just insane. The thing that really got me too was. Here's the truth, because I don't know if Joon will say this. I don't know if I reveal
it. There's a truth of it.
I got the call during this podcast, okay, this emergency call from my ex's job. The manager of the store says, your ex, your ex is Leanna. Leanna's calling for you. She's saying, where is Phil? I need Phil. Where is Phil? Now, I want you to think about this. I'm going through already this breakup. It already have happened. And now, just a couple days later, supposedly, she's saying that she needs me. So my fucking emotion.
Yeah, because you took her away from her family. You moved her across the fucking country. She doesn't know anyone else out there except for you. Beggars can't be choosers. You are the only other person she knows at this point that had at one point romantic feel. She had romantic feelings for you at one point. So yeah, I mean, at her lowest, she's gonna have to rely on you because she doesn't know anyone else because you took her away from her family.
Shins are being torn in every fucking direction. I'm so fucking confused about what the fuck is going on and everything. All right. And then basically to conclude the story, again,
and then you're over here being like a total sack of shit to her. Like even if his story is true, and that they were broken up beforehand or whatever, like he still acts like a total dick to her. Like I get sometimes like breakups are like rough or heated breakups, but it doesn't really seem like that was the case. Like if my ex came over and like really needed my help with something and it was that short after the breakup, I would still help them. I wouldn't be a dick about it.
When we were in the hospital together and she's there zonked out and everything, right? And I said to her, your manager called me frantically saying that you needed me. And I want to know, like, was that real? Did she make that up? And she goes like this. She goes, and she hands me the engagement ring right there in the hospital. And I'm like, wow.
I'm calling X'd out on that.
Right? So then I come home and she's fucking, we get food. She's zonked out. She passes out. She's on these not painkillers, whatever they were. I don't even know what they gave her.
Probably Zantac. Not Zantac. Xanax.
The drugs or whatever. And then I go on stream to tell everyone what just happened because the stream was, suspended.
You didn't have to tell everyone. No, you didn't have to tell them.
No one knows that we're broken up. So
there's emergency.
So I jumped on stream.
Fine.
Now, admittedly, should I have said anything about it at all? I mean, what could I have done? I mean, you always in retro 50. You look, hindsight is 20/20. That's what they say, right? So looking back at it now, I'm like, I could have easily just told everyone something very personal just happened, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
anymore.
You should have done
it's
that.
Not your business, right? But instead, I basically laid it all out for the audience exactly what had happened.
Because you're a fucking idiot.
We were broken up. But I told them the entire panic attack and all that.
There's no way they were broken up before that.
The American medical system is and shit because it was really fucked up the way that they handled the situation. You can watch it if you want. I'm not going to get into that tonight. That's not the purpose of the documentary. But basically, people saying you shouldn't have said anything, right? I shouldn't have said anything at all because it's her personal medical history. And in retrospect,
you're
I look
right.
back
You shouldn't have.
I basically should have just come and said, you know what? It's none of anyone's business what just happened. If ever we decide to talk about it publicly, we will. But I can't tell you what just happened. I'm sorry. But instead, I told the whole story, and I shouldn't have done that at all. And that's on me. 1,000,000%. It's my fault. All right. Okay.
Wow, you almost never hear him actually say that. Maybe I should clip that audio. It's my fault. Okay. Maybe I should go back and clip that.
My God.
Later on.
The thing is, I know if this ever happens again, I'm gonna tell him you are not allowed to bring her to the hospital. No, you get no permission to fucking do it. You can't give her a pill. You want to give her a pill, give her a pill, and that's it. Because you're just gonna waste our time again. Yeah, because we were both upset. For the record, we were both incredibly upset.
Oh yeah, okay. She was upset
they basically
too.
Went there and she was having a panic attack, right? So they did something to sedate her. I don't know if it was a pill or whatever. They took her to the hospital. They left her in a fucking hospital room for over 3 hours. No one came to talk to her, not even a doctor. They just left her.
What do you want them to do to her, Phil? Like, you mentioned later on that someone talked to her about having panic attacks or whatever. They have literally nothing else to do to treat a panic attack other than giving her a sedated pill of some sort and just letting her calm down. That's all they can do for her. Meanwhile, they have life-threatening emergencies they have to take care of too. So they're like, okay, we'll just calm down, lay down here for a little bit. We got people we actually have to save their lives, so just calm down there. Like, what else do you want them to do?
In a room by herself for 3 hours and told her nothing. She didn't know what was going on. She was completely confused. And then after me showing up and spending time...
You said before that she's had panic attacks before. What do you mean she didn't know what was going on?
We're there for like 2 hours. Someone comes in after, oh, are you okay? You ready to go? What are you talking about? What do you mean we're ready to go? Yeah, you ready to go? Here's some papers on counseling if you need it. So now what, you're going to charge us thousands of dollars for this fucking stay because you decided to haul her here to the hospital? And now you did literally nothing? Do you really think she would have said, take me to the hospital if you knew she was just going to sit in a room for 3 hours and no one was going to help her at all? It was incredibly fucked up. What they
help her in what way, Phil? What else could they have done?
They did to her. That's what I was upset about.
And like, I think if I remember correctly, he envisioned like the emergency room having some kind of like psychologist or therapist in the emergency room to come and sit down and have like a therapy session with her. He said that before. I'm like, emergency rooms don't have an on-site psychologist to talk to people, Phil. That's what therapy is for. Like, maybe Leanna should have like been going to therapy sessions and that would have helped. But they don't have on-site psychologists like ready to go on standby. Like, it's not a mental health facility. It's a emergency room. Like, if you break a leg or like you're bleeding because you lost an arm or something, Phil, what exactly did you expect?
That's what I'm saying here. I'm not saying if she willingly wants to get medical treatment, she shouldn't get it. I'm saying, dude, the American health system's
All right,
fucked.
well, I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by, Bill.
For thousands of dollars for being in the emergency room, and now she has to pay it. And they didn't even do anything. That's fucked up. That's how our medical system works here. It didn't help us at all.
The medical system, then he goes to like, oh, it's a U.S.
issues or minimizing them, which is what he was now getting backlash for. What they didn't know is that Phil and Pan Lee had broken up some time before the anxiety attack, which is also a possible factor that may have induced it. Yep. He announced this at the end of May. Now, for the first time ever, Phil was in Washington in complete isolation. Mockingly, a few dating adverts were made to remedy his newfound loneliness. Then there was a song request.
89.7 KACC.
Oh, this is fun.
We got a dedication in. These kids and their names, I swear. So, Darksydephil wants to dedicate a song to Panda Lee. He wants to dedicate "Baby Come Back" by.
Who would have even known this unless some loser does it, records it, and posts it on like Kiwi Farms, right? And this is like this is such.
Well, yeah, it's a joke. It's funny. That's all.
Dumb, immature shit. Obviously, I didn't know anything about it. This is the first time I'm ever hearing it. Like, how is this even like pertinent or funny? It's just so stupid. It shows what a loser they are.
No,
one would
funny.
know about this unless they put it in like a troll sector, correct?
Player? I don't know what to say, guys. Okay, so anyway, here's "Baby Come Back" by Player, and they actually wanted me to say "Baby Come Back." I don't get it. I really don't get it with these kids. But yes, Darksydephil.
No one gets it. No one gets these kids because they're all mentally fucking ill. They're
oh yeah, okay, we're all
mentally
mentally ill.
They have
okay.
no fucking intelligence.
Here's your dedication to Panda Lee.
In many ways, Phil was defeated, but he would not be Phil if he wasn't persistent in getting others to dislike him. On his Twitch chat, a place only the current viewers are meant to see,
That is funny.
Phil, in jealousy of popular creator iJustine, typed, quote, "iJustine is busy getting gangbanged by EA executive staff all weekend. The only fucking reason she was actually hired in the first place, lol."
So,
oh yeah, because he's not a misogynist or anything.
Around the same time, I would say it was right around E3 time, because I think this was in reference to an E3 that year. This is just in my chat, in my fucking stream chat, and obviously, you know, my head is not screwed on right at all. I'm messed up in the head because everything's falling apart in my life, and I made that comment in my stream chat. Now, the stream's not on. This is just me, like, talking with someone in stream chat before my stream is even turned on. But you got to understand, my detractors literally stalk my every move. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I said that down the hallway, right?
It's still on a public forum, Phil. It was publicly available to see, to screen capture. It's not like it was on a private fucking stream or you in a private Discord server. It's a public access.
Right now that somehow someone would hear it and post it on the internet. You see, that's how fucking weird it is. So they screen capped it. They sent it to iJustine. Now let's see if he says that.
Prominent detractor accounts took this screenshot and were quick to not only spread it on Twitter, but also tag iJustine in it. To much surprise, iJustine responded, quote, "Why don't you stop spamming everyone? He clearly has issues," unquote. And Phil did have issues.
That's completely true. That she actually said the most pertinent thing possible. Yes, that's completely right. I was having some pretty bad fucking issues at the time. That's
Still
correct.
are.
10 years, Phil has had a dream job meant to provide steady, easy income, while allowing one to work within their own set hours. Phil, on the other hand, had nothing to show for his near decade-long residence.
Still
the
doesn't.
fact was he lost far more than he gained, and for a period, he seemed starkly aware. Quote, "I haven't had real in-person social interaction on a regular basis since like 2007, before YouTube started. Once I started YouTube, that all went away. That's part of the sacrifices I keep bringing up to make this work. I can't have regular friends with the amount of time I put into this job. When I lived in CT, I had tons of money. As soon as I moved out here, poof, gone," unquote. It is clear that he regrets his move, but he cannot accept it is his fault.
Wrong. I don't regret my move. I do accept it's my fault. I don't regret my move because if I didn't move when I did, I never would have left Connecticut, and I might have been there in Connecticut with money, but I would have been fucking miserable because I hated.
Connecticut is not that bad, Phil. What is so much better in Washington State than in Connecticut? It's not that bad of a place. He makes it out like Connecticut's like some third world hellhole or something.
my life there. It wasn't going anywhere. Since I moved, my life has become way better. One thing that he has not mentioned at all in this documentary is my back
How is your life gotten better because of the move specifically? You meeting Kat has nothing to do with you being in Washington State, though.
injury, which many of you probably don't even know I had, but I had a severe
This
back injury.
bullshit. Yeah, you were. Yeah, no, you didn't. You're like, your back might have hurt or it was a little crooked or whatever. But like, oh yeah, the Washington air somehow healed your back,
my L4,
right?
L5 vertebrae that I was suffering from in like round 2006, 2007.
Yeah, we can skip that part.
I don't have to clean snow or worry about that shit. I don't have to drive long distances to do anything. So basically, I changed my whole lifestyle, and now my back has healed itself.
It's healed itself instead of like just getting surgery to fix your back in the first place, which most people do. No, it's healed itself magically by me not having to do anything ever. All I had to do was be a complete hermit and never go anywhere and have the most boring fucking secluded life in ever, and that healed my back. It was worth it. Like, wow. Okay.
I never have problems with my back. Every once in a while, if I overdo it, I'll feel it, but almost never have I had an issue
when
with my
I
back
actually
since I
have
moved
to
out here. It
move
was like
somewhere
2
or
years, and then
walk
boom,
around or
fixed.
something.
And let's be honest, if I didn't move out here and the whole thing happened with the breakup with my ex and all of that, my life might have been very different.
Of course, exaggerated
I
it.
wouldn't be happy. And right now, I am very happy. I'm happily married. I have a great personal life behind the scenes. My streams.
None of this has anything to do with you moving to Washington, Phil. Like, Kat would have followed you anywhere, probably. She didn't care if you're in Washington or Connecticut. I have a cat. I have a house that he doesn't own, by the way.
And work has gotten tons and tons better. Right now, I'm in a resurgence the last month, which of course he won't have in this document.
And of course, that has nothing to do with you moving. You could, like, all of this shit has nothing to do with him actually moving.
My life is getting better as a direct result of the fact that I moved.
No.
Now, the problem was when I
Disagree.
moved, I made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision when it came to how to finance the move. It should have been done very differently. But that I own. I spent too much on credit cards. I spent too much on all this shit. That's my fault. And, you know, that was a really bad planning. I literally had a plan.
You were spending way too much on credit cards way before that move, Phil. It was before that move that you were spending money on credit cards because you didn't want to pay back any of your debts.
Up this credit card, then I'll balance transfer that credit card to a 0% balance transfer credit card. And when that one's about to expire and the interest will hit, I'll balance transfer to another 0% balance transfer
Like,
credit
imagine
card.
all, like, if it wasn't Phil, right? Like, imagine all the extra money he would have had if he didn't move. If he hadn't moved, he stayed in Connecticut, he would still have all these things. He would still have Kat. He probably would have moved to, like, a bigger apartment or condo in Connecticut. But he still would have had Kat, would have had Jasper or whatever. And, like, he would have a lot more money. Probably still would have filed for bankruptcy and didn't have all that money that he wasted. But it's DSP, so he still would have wasted all that money he would have had on WWE Champions.
It can only work.
But none of the stuff he has right now is only because
of the false copyright strikes and everything. It fell apart. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And then I just had to pay minimum payments on everything, and it all just fell apart. And then more stuff happened, which I think he's probably going to cover next with taxes and shit. It just kept compiling over and over. So that's my problem. My problem was the entire
phony
bankruptcy.
bankruptcy.
And the way I paid for it was completely botched and done wrong. But the move itself, I don't regret.
Is
a
fraudulent bankruptcy.
I never regretted this move. I love
that he lied in court under oath.
It's better weather. Everything out here has fixed my lifestyle and my back, you know? And I never would have met my wife either. So,
my lifestyle and my back is all fixed because I have to shovel. Like, why would he have to shovel snow in Connecticut if he never goes anywhere? Think about that. He, like, even in Connecticut, he never went anywhere. After he got fired from his job, he never went out and drove around or anything like that. He had stopped, at that point, he had stopped going to, fighting game conventions and shit, so he didn't have to go there. So why would he have had to have shoveled his driveway if he doesn't fucking go anywhere? And I guarantee you he uses, like, Instacart or DoorDash for his groceries now, so he probably doesn't even drive out on his day off to go get groceries. He probably just has all that shit delivered too.
Quote, I talk to tons of people on a daily basis. A user then asks, I mean like relationships or friends outside of Twitch. Phil responds, I don't have time for in-person friends.
That's correct.
I'm constantly working. You realize I haven't had a day off since my time off in July, right? This is my life, and has been for quite a long time before I moved out here.
That's a pretty sad and pathetic life, Phil.
I work 6 days a week full time. I have to make ends meet, to pay the bills. That's what I've had to do.
No, you don't. Like, he doesn't have to, Phil. If you are, like, I'm not one to talk because I'm not very good with saving money. It burns a hole in my pocket. I'm nowhere near as bad as Phil, though. I'm not that bad with Phil. And I make sure I pay my bills first before I spend money. But, like, DSP does not know how to live within his own budget. So he has gotten used to such a high level of living that he's unwilling to, like, what's the right word? He's unwilling to, like, soldier up and, like, start saving up money and not spending as frivolously as he does. So his level of spend, he's living outside of his means, basically, is what the word. He's living outside of his means, and he thinks, oh, in order to keep living outside of my means, instead of me making sacrifices and not having DoorDash every fucking day, instead of doing that, I have to work 6 days a week and being here, and I have no time for life or friends or anything like that. So, like, all these other things that, like, are essential to being human, like having friends and having, like, social interaction and stuff, he's willing to sacrifice that instead of not going out to or not having DoorDash every fucking day, because he's not willing to live within his means, if that makes sense.
Very long time. The one day a week I take off,
but he doesn't actually have to.
And I'm spending time with my wife.
Bro, you make over $100,000 a year. Like, you don't make nearly that much. I will say that. Not even half of that much. And I'm living within my means. Like, if I can make however much I make a year work, like, you can make it work on $100,000. It's not that hard to live within those means, Phil. How are you struggling to pay your bills when you make that much a year? I don't get it.
And then I'm right back to the grind. And that's been my life ever since I moved out here. There's been no break.
And it's not jealousy, because I would never want to be in his position, ever. But it's like, you should be able to make $100,000 a year work. It's not that fucking hard.
In 10 years. Hasn't happened. The one break I took, I went to Connecticut with my wife to get married, and I'm sure he's going to cover that. Outside of that, it's been work for me. That's my whole life. How on earth, how would I have time for friends when I have to work 6 days a week full time?
That's so pathetic.
Then it got better for 3 years.
And you can still have online friends.
Square one,
you
really,
can still talk
unquote.
to friends online.
As recoiled as Phil was, dealing with persistent copyright strikes and whatever else his life brought him, he clung onto whatever was left of his following. Typical in periods lacking interest, trolls are more likely to find entertainment from consuming one another. The reality of communities like the one that works against DSP is that they are far more nuanced that they lead on. From the outside looking in, the detractor community is powerful in coordinating their campaigns against Phil. In actuality, it is very divided. Some hate Phil, some just want to catch up periodically. The majority don't interact in any way. These differences create cyclical arguments, for example, those wanting no universal interaction with Phil. Some reasons may lie in entertainment, as Phil's passive failings tend to be the most entertaining. They could also just be aware that
Agreed. You don't have to do gay ops or anything on Phil. He will ruin himself. There's no need to get involved with Phil. Just sit back and watch and laugh. That's all you have to do with Phil. He is going to eat himself alive. He will make his own mistakes. No need to try to make his demise faster. He's going to fall apart sooner or later on his own.
Themselves out personally will lead to ridicule in a space that exploits any weakness, or they simply feel sympathetic to his plight. On the other end, you'll have those that want interaction with Phil.
Anymore.
These can be small by typing messages in his chat to get a reaction or requesting a song on the radio. That is a simple basis of trolling. The overall effects are minimal and hardly controversial. Then you have those that feel personally slighted by Phil and seek revenge. This is where the illegitimate copyright strikes come from. They want Phil to fail in any way, and few strategies are out of their purview. Truly, the only defense in this space is self-awareness and anonymity. These members lack both. And the most interesting part is all these people inhabit the same space. Whether it be the forums or Phil's chat, they can be seen arguing endlessly. It is only a community out of...
For the record, Kiwi Farms are not my forums. The way he just said that, it made it sound like I run Kiwi Farms. I do not. That is a independent website run by Josh.
That would be
Boone.
funny.
If you want to know about that, go watch the Kino Casino show that we did with Josh a week and a half ago, where I basically grilled him on it. I don't agree with that
Oh,
website
you
and the way it
grilled him
operates at
so
all,
good, didn't you,
and the
Phil?
way that those people are just allowed to do the awful things they do. But yeah, that's not my website. The way he just said it there made it sound like he's saying, "Oh, Phil's forums or his chat." No, no, no. Do not even for a moment make people think that I run Kiwi Farms. Hell no.
No,
Convenience
your
and
website
nothing
was a lot worse, and you doxed a lot of people for using your website. So I mean,
else. That's why it may look like the sons of Kojima would sit on top of this virtual hierarchy. But in actuality, the only thing they have claim to is they're the ones most dedicated to Phil. The group watches his streams for hours at a time to no benefit other than that claim. They are united by an overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. They were persistently hated.
Overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. Well, at least I'm happy that now I'm really not like
Are
that at all,
you?
right?
I don't
I'm
know.
not
It
really
seems
that
like
overweight
cope,
a tiny
Phil.
bit. I'm not ailing, that's for sure. And as for the last month, I'm not failing. So, but you know what? For a while, that probably would have been true.
You're
within
still
the Detractor
failing,
communities
Phil.
because they, being allowed to exist,
This is early Kino Casino arc, by the way. Like, we can all basically agree that the whole Kino Casino arc is basically over with for the most part. I mean, sure, Phil is still doing that stupid wrestling podcast with Ashton, but it's so boring, no one really cares about it anyway. And to be fair, like, he's lost he had opportunities to, like, take the goodwill and positivity that he got from the Kino Casino guys and like do something with it, and he squandered it like every other opportunity he squandered. So I'm like, he had a chance to make something of it, but
their space, somewhat represented their community, albeit not accurately. Most dedicated channels, Twitter pages, and groups made for the sole purpose of following Phil are highly scrutinized, and if they become obsessed to the point they no longer represent any niche, they will always fail. That's why the Sons of Kojima collapsed in late 2017. Their leader, Fred Fox, was highly paranoid, morally confused, overall an oblivious individual. Though he was responsible for countless hours of footage criticizing Phil, he would crumble and get frustrated at even just his Encyclopedia Dramatica. These pages are known to be full of purposely inaccurate and exaggerated information to get a rise from who they're targeting. And his frustration from its creation further warranted its existence, as seen here where he is lambasting the creator of the page.
So how about this? I'll go fuck your mother for the laws and everything will be cool, right? No hard feelings?
I guess if you want to like twist, if you just want to twist my logic into black and white, there, sure.
No, I mean that's what you're saying. You're saying you could do something if it's just for the laws. Nobody's supposed to get mad or offended.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't take fucking Encyclopedia page Dramatica seriously.
There are also times when they invited Mr. Medicare on, a creator well known for his banter.
Okay, how much money would it take? This is for all of you. For one of you to suck Phil's cock. What is the donation amount that would be required for you to get on your?
I love it. Like, God bless Medicare, man. He's like one of the only real like commentator community kind of people I actually like. And even he saw that the Sons of Kojima were assholes and dumbasses. Him and Tevin at the time too was like really making fun of him as he should. Like,
and orally pleasure.
It's like I was a lurker around this time. I do remember watching some like Sons of Kojima content or whatever, but I didn't like obviously how they were doing things. I mean, I like their streams. The streams are good, but I didn't like how they were trying to like, oh, no one can make money off of DSP, and they were really like keeping a lot of people, and I didn't like that either. But I do remember watching some.
That means,
stuff.
that means he's considering a number. You went silent because
I'm not an answer because I'm not interested in that. That's fucked up.
So you're telling me you're not going to suck a dick for $10 million?
No.
Really? You wouldn't suck a dick. You wouldn't get on your knees and slurp up some mayonnaise for $10 million fucking dollar dues?
I don't want to lose my dignity.
See, here's the thing. Like, the trolls that I have cannot take it. They dish it and dish it and dish it and dish it.
And then you got Phil that's assuming every single troll is like that's okay. And that's not the case, obviously. Like, obviously at the time, SOK was like the big guys of detractors, but he's just making wild assumptions and lumping every single detractor in with the SOK when that's not the case.
Shit, but they have no concept of how to take it. They are good at being the punchers, but man, when it's their time to get punched at, they can't dodge for shit. They're like Glass Joe. They're like, ooh.
Not really. I mean, again, I had my own thread on Kiwi Farms. If you dig deep enough, you can find it. You can find out about it. Whatever. It's not that big a deal. All because I was a furry. I am a furry. And because I am trans. Technically non-binary, but whatever. So it's like that alone was enough to make me a target of Kiwi Farms in 2017 for a little bit. And then eventually the thread went dead soon after, actually. So it's like I'm used to being criticized and trolled back. It's fine. It doesn't bother me because I don't do this for a job, first of all. It's not hurting anything. It's just fun. I don't care. But he's acting like, oh, we can't handle anything. I'm like, no, we can, Phil. We're used to it.
Ooh, they go down with one swing. I mean, just take a look at some of the shit that I've been doing recently with my own detractors on my channel.
Like what? Duty streams, your poor... Like, Phil does not know how to troll other people. He absolutely does not. He claims he was a troll in the fighting game community. He wasn't. He, like, sees people trolling him, and he tries to recreate and mimic that, and he just does not know how to fucking do it at all. Like, you can see that with the whole DSP news thing, like that one Twitter account that he claims wasn't him, but was fucking obviously DSP, the Detractor news thing or whatever it was. Like, that was like, it was clearly did not understand how to troll other people at all. And DSP makes like such a big deal, like, oh, look, it's trolling the detractors. But it was doing such a piss poor job at that because obviously DSP does not know how to troll people.
Do these streams and this fucking super crazy guy who are trying to do shit, and it's so easy to just turn their own bullshit back on them.
Not really. I mean, you can make you were doing a piss poor job at it anyway, and it didn't make any sense.
And then they can't take it. They break, right?
Who broke?
So here's...
No one broke. Duty didn't break. Super crazy, like, I don't even think responded to you at all. So, like, what are you getting that from?
A guy who literally is an internet troll. I mean, Medicare is a really good internet troll, correct? And he gives it right back to the Sons of Kojima, and they just fucking look like a bunch of fucking dippy-doo losers. They can't even say...
Dippy-doo? Where are you from, Phil? What's this dippy-doo losers? Like, what are you, 80 years old?
Yeah, you can say all day to me because I'm not there to respond to you because I'm doing my own shit in my own life. So you're talking...
No one's afraid of you, Phil. I would say all the shit that I say about you, I would tell you straight to your face. I don't give a shit.
Basically to the wall, and the wall doesn't talk back, so you're fine. But the moment that someone talks back to you, holy shit, man. I mean, what a bunch of pussies, right?
Okay.
Anyway, I just
received
a $10
Coke?
tip.
Oh, more tips.
We're making good progress, right?
The answer, but if you notice when I asked that question, they all went silent because they were thinking of a number. Every one of them was thinking of a number.
Some comments under this near 50-minute long video read, quote, Christ, without any DSP material to commentate over or talk about, these guys just got nothing.
Exactly, and that's exactly the same thing for every single...
No, not really. There are some detractors that are entertaining, and I would watch them do anything. Like, you got some detractors that also play video games while they talk about DSP. Or if they've played video games on off days where they don't talk about DSP and they're still entertaining. So,
single detractor I've ever had. The only reason they exist is because they have me, and I don't fight back. So they just keep going, riffing on me. But when they get anything turned against them, they're done. And what they don't realize is if I just turn off the stream and never turn it back on, their actual pertinence to the internet vanishes instantly. They are nothing but parasites on my back.
That's some weapons-grade humiliation. Christ, these guys are awkward. It makes me want to like Phil if these are his trolls.
No one's actually...
There is a tremendous amount of information, detailing Fred's paranoia, his coordinated attacks at former and current members, his group's campaign of copyright striking DSP via fan art, and his attempts to regulate the community besides deciding what is and isn't allowed to be monetized on the basis of moral superiority over Phil. His antics and strange history are also entertaining. That was another reason why he was exposed and why there are over 2,000 posts discussing him. What mattered to Phil was that his most persistent detractor group was no more. And on September 2017, he released a tweet longer about it. It is here that Phil revealed that Panelli's father was swatted in the past. This to him made it clear that no one in proximity to him was safe. This is the reason why he claims to have skipped Panelli's brother's wedding.
That's right.
What did the SOK do?
Bullshit.
Well, first, they decided to find out the address and date of the wedding. Yes, that's entirely true. They're so fucking sick that they, on their own and without my mentioning it for months, researched and found the event, and then spread that info all over the internet. They then decided to spin it that the reason we weren't attending was because I had to force Leanna to skip it so I can stay home and play Fallout 4 to make money. They actually accused me of keeping her at home forcefully. It couldn't have been further from the truth. It was the crippling fear that the SOK themselves, who found the damn date and address of the wedding, would have swatted the wedding. That made us stay home. So not only were they the reason we missed the wedding, they then turned their own vile actions into a way to make us look...
Nah, that's just an excuse because DSP didn't actually want to fucking go, and he was busy playing Fallout 4 at the time. This is all just cope and excuse.
Bad after the fact. It's mind-numbing, isn't it? Unquote. After the fall of the Sons of Kojima, there was a rise in more passive trolling. On Phil's forums, there was a crop-up of clear catfishes that had all miraculously turned 18 years old at the time. Then there was a pirate-themed treasure map made of the places Phil frequented and it was often thought to enjoy, with the inclusion of health foods and a gym placed just out of his reach due to the uncrossable bridge of certain death.
Wow.
On Instagram, there was a new strategy of trolling through indifference. No matter what picture Phil posted, there was bound to be tens, if not hundreds of comments stating 2 words. Well, really just one word with 2 variations. Comments were either okay or okay. Without fail, these cropped up and overwhelmed any other comment.
Yeah, but I never read the comments. I'm serious. Like, when I was posting stuff on Instagram, I knew that my viewers and fans would like it. I didn't care about the comments. I just completely ignored them.
It's still
So
funny.
they just wasted their time. I mean, like, they actually thought that was a meaningful use of their time, like they were trolling. I literally never saw any of those comments.
Even just comments wanting to understand what was going on were met with a single response, okay. Phil even treated his audience to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here, and
I love this video because you can see his reflection. You can see his reflection in the video, in the glass door over the sliding glass door. You could just see how badly he is wobbling back and forth. I'm pretty sure that this camera is on the counter. It's on a tripod on the counter. So the camera itself is not wobbling back and forth. But you can see just how much... He's like one of those punching bags, like the stand-up clowns that you punch, and it'll go from one side and pop and bounce back to the other. That's what he's like. Just keep your eye up there.
welcome to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Look at T-pose! Look at that fucking T-pose, Phil. Am I in the right button? Hold on. Which one is it? Hold on.
Thought that this video was...
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here, and welcome to a pretty unique unboxing.
That. This T-pose right here. I love that. Welcome to a new unboxing! Ooh! T-pose!
Video.
Phil thought that this video was unique because of what he was unboxing. What made it unique was for the first 3 minutes, his reflection was easily visible, and he was doing 2 things. He was swaying left and right, and he was doing his famous T-pose. Phil had swayed much in the past, but rarely was it not in first-person view.
Oh, is that where the T-pose came from? I
No
had absolutely
shit.
no idea. I just learned that for the first time.
Are
So
you
that's thing
fucking
number
dumb?
2 or 3 that I've now learned for the
You're
first
really
time.
stupid,
I had no
aren't you?
clue. The reason that I do that is because of my back. My back, if I just stand completely still for an extended period of time, I actually feel uncomfortable. Now, I'd already been setting up to do that video or whatever, so usually when I do a video on my feet, I have to move around. When I'm on the phone, I start walking around. It's
Well,
just
walking around is one thing. Swaying from back to right like a fucking Mr. Boppet or whatever, that's a totally different thing. I get, like, just, like, wandering around, walking around or whatever. I get that, but...
just natural. It's
Swaying
usually
back
I
and
don't
forth
have
that
uncomfortable
extreme?
feelings in my back because of my back injury. That's why I do that. When I was
But
in,
I thought you said your back was fully healed, though, Phil. I thought the Seattle air healed your back. Which one is it?
when I worked at Wells Fargo, one of my actual
My
coworkers
back.
called me Sway
How you doing,
because she
Newt?
noticed that I did that, and I was like, yeah, I have pain if I just stand still.
It's hard not to notice
So,
that.
I mean, there you go. Now, T-pose is just something I do. I do it on streams too. I'm like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's just something I do when like I'm excited or
It's
I
really
talk with my
pathetic,
hands, I
yeah.
stretch my arms out all the time. You guys
I'm
see it every
good.
day, right? Like literally every day.
Every day, guys.
So that's just But I had absolutely no clue. This is the first time ever.
Who's in that picture there? I wonder who that is, because this is Phil's desk, old desk, but I wonder who's in that picture there.
That I'm actually realizing that that's where the T-pose comment came from. Okay.
All right,
of a
move
pig,
on.
combined with his ability on what DSP claims is a post-nasal drip.
Correct.
The snorting plays into his depiction of a pig. Combined with his ability to remain online and survive like a cockroach came the derisive nickname Pigroach. His laugh, his sway, his snorts all could be, and some more, made into several minute-long compilations of Phil doing these singular actions. Phil doing these actions in tandem would also gain purchase. Then there were 2 food-related items that always got viewers' attention. The first was sparked by this tweet where DSP states he likes penne. What he means is he likes the pasta, but in Spanish, penne means penis. The last item viewers took note in was his drink of choice.
I think gin and tonic is actually of choice. Not every single day, but I do have a gin and tonic or 2 every once in a while, maybe a few times a week at night to unwind, especially if it's been a stressful day or if my back's hurting me. And yes, I do have a drink, some gin and tonic. I guess I'll start the night right with a sip. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I have a drink tonight. I have a gin and tonic next to me, which I'll be sipping from time to time. I won't be downing the whole thing.
It was not often that Phil drank on stream. However, this proclivity did extend outside of his streams. Sometimes he bottle or mix drinks made his way into his vacation videos.
Everything else here, including the gin, which I'll probably drink mixed with that.
Now keep in mind, this is spanning a 16-year history, okay?
And that's a giant-ass bottle, because this vacation trip was only, like, a couple days. Like, do you really need that giant bottle of gin to hold you over for a couple days on vacation?
So, I mean, I didn't even document that many vacations, maybe a few, and yeah, a couple of them I had gin. Yes, I would drink every once in a while, like June says, it was infrequently, but this became a meme with my detractors.
No, you're an alcoholic, we get it.
All the time. And that's, he even has it in the thumbnail of the documentary because of that. It's like, it actually couldn't be further from the truth. Like, I'll be honest with you guys right now, you ready? I drink probably tequila.
This is cool.
Vodka and rum.
No, it doesn't. Way more. It doesn't matter what you drink, Phil. The point is you drink a lot. You're an alcoholic. That's the point. It doesn't fucking matter if it's gin or tequila. And he's admitting here he drinks all this shit way more than gin, guys. Well, that still doesn't disprove the fact that you're an alcoholic. Now,
more than I drink gin. If I drink anything right now, recently, I probably would have been having some tequila. But I don't even drink gin that much anymore. If I drink it, it's very rare.
You're still drinking, period. It's still alcohol, Phil.
But their meme, again, what happens is they focus on one little thing. Like, they hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper
we get it.
Thing. And then they turn it into a joke to them, despite the fact that the outside world, people will be like, why is someone drinking gin funny? All right?
It's not for the outside world. It's for people. It's called in-jokes, Phil. It's like for people in the know or whatever. We're not broadcast. Like, detractors aren't making content really. Like, to be honest, detractors really aren't making detractor content for outsider people. They're just making it for other detractors or whatever. It's like, oh, that's another in-joke or whatever.
So, one more time, they hyper-focus on one stupid...
Like you are right now, you're hyper-focusing on the gin part and not on the fact that basically you're an alcoholic, and the joke about gin is really a joke about you drinking too much. That's what the actual joke is that, like, oh, you're drinking so fucking much because you're an alcoholic, not just because he drinks gin literally all the time. But his autistic brain is taking that one piece and, like, making it like, oh, that's the point or whatever. That's not part of the joke.
An insignificant little thing, and they can't control themselves from hyper-focusing on it. I think some of you may be understanding what I'm getting at here.
I'm not, actually. I don't really get your point.
That I'm trying to allude to. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. By the way, I received a $20 tip.
I'm actually going to go and get a drink. Sorry, it will be not an alcoholic drink, a soda. Fire will be right back. Like, literally less than a minute. But All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh.
Listen, I wish you would tip because you're enjoying the react or because you like my content. But, you know,
more begging.
We're not 57-35 tonight, folks. Thank you so much to everyone here who's chilling and enjoying and supporting. Little thing. Okay. Sprite.
To indulge so much cost Phil a fair bit. But now, in addition to owing money to credit card companies and the like, he in September found that he owed money to a fierce collector.
I get this letter. All right. Oh, this is the beginning of the taxes saga for sure. This is the taxes saga. Here we go. I get this letter, and the letter says, "We suspect that you are doing business in the state of Washington under the name DSPGaming.
The taxes, right? Okay.
We believe that you need to register and pay state business.
Yeah, I know. I'm
taxes.
sorry.
Please answer all of these questions for us." So if you
I was getting a soda, and I'm like, wait, I probably should go to the bathroom really quick.
It was my trolls. You want to know what they did? They registered my house on like Google Maps or Google Business as a registered business, even though I don't have a registered business address like that. That's not the kind of business.
What about Burnell Productions, Phil? I'm pretty sure you had that Burnell Productions trademarked at one point, and it probably had your address on that.
I do have a business in my name, legally registered, but it's not that kind of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a public business where you would have a physical location. So they posted it on there.
Doesn't matter. You're still operating a business. Doesn't matter if you have a physical product or not. It's still a business, Phil.
So that, you know, oh,
yes, I did actually
They
wash my
impersonated
hands.
me. They actually used my information to create a fake Google like business account. They put it on my house geolocation, tagged my house, and then they sent that to the fucking state tax group people and said, look, there's a business over there. Someone's doing business and they're not paying taxes. This is completely true.
Any actual proof?
And then they contacted me.
This is completely. What do you say? This is completely true.
This group people and said, look, there's a business over there. Someone's doing business and they're not paying taxes. This is completely true.
Yeah.
And then they
if it was so true, I don't think you'd have to say, this is completely true, guys.
Contacted me because of that. Yes,
this is
there's a Burnell Enterprise sitting on Google Maps right now. That my trolls made that.
Dare you
I didn't make that. I don't even know how to
me?
get rid of it. I have no clue. Because my business is not a physical address for anything. Like, you wouldn't mail me at Burnell Enterprises here or whatever, you know? In fact, that's not even the name of my business, FYI. It's not called Burnell Enterprises.
At one point it was.
They did that, and then they fucking notified the tax people and got me in trouble. And here's the story. Here it comes.
Phil, since he moved to Washington, had not been paying state taxes. He claims the reason behind this is because he continued to list the services of his accountant from Connecticut.
To clear the air here, because a lot of people have misconceptions, my tax attorney in the state of Connecticut was a certified public accountant.
Yes, it's all his fault.
Of accounting at a college for several years, and was one of the highest accredited guys in the state of Connecticut. This is not some Joe Schmo asshole who I just got. And by the way, I paid this guy thousands of dollars to do my taxes. All right, I think the most he ever charged me was like over $1,500 one year to do my taxes properly.
What? The importance of this is now Phil was claiming to owe state taxes since 2014, stacking yet another reason why 2017 was the year that finally doomed Phil financially. But at least he wasn't bankrupt. The grander and more dramatic reveal this year was of
at least he wasn't bankrupt.
Yet the reveal photos only show the back of her head. Phil, to be able to hide a relationship for this long was surprising. A reason for only showing the back of her head was that Phil was slowly starting to separate his personal and online life, meaning that there would no longer be condo tours or virtually any videos outside of his office, save for a few additional DSP tries-it videos, like his attempt to recreate the virality of his Axe body scrubber video. This could only be beneficial. It wouldn't allow viewers to analyze his new purchases, his eating habits, anything that can be used against him, or even the people around him. Keeping Kat anonymous was likely Phil's attempt to protect her, though it did have its weakness and was immediately exploited.
So they fabricate this story that, here we go. Now it's, I guess the taxes saga wasn't very big. It was very lame, actually. He didn't go into it too far. So this is the escort saga, which I have no involvement with whatsoever. I literally have no involvement with this at all. This is all on my trolls and crazy people, okay? I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her.
I love low polygon Phil, though.
Should I get?
Like, I love low polygon Phil. Like, look how derpy he looks.
A neon sign behind me that says The Phil Show? Because now that background's outdated because I just changed my background. Should I get a neon sign that says The Phil Show behind me? Would you like that? Right? Why not? Thousands of dollars.
Because that's not the name of any of your shows. Like, wouldn't you get, like, the level 1 podcast or something like that as a sign? Not The Phil Show. Because that's such a stupid-ass name for a show.
Thousands of dollars, apparently. I don't even know what the full story is because I'm not really following it.
Well, true to her word, Kimberly did know where to release that information, too. Over on the forum, Kiwi Farms, a mysterious woman shows up to elaborate on what's going on.
In December 2017, a mysterious woman claiming to be a high-end escort with a history with Phil was claiming that Phil had not paid her, and if she did not receive the money owed, then she would release all the details of the event. And so she did. On Kiwi Farms, she developed a somewhat shallow story of Phil taking her out to dinner and spending a fair amount of money on her. Sprinkled in are notes about his bad credit, his disappointing manhood, and general notes on his house.
By the way, thank you to Dick Jones, who just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Thank you for the first gifted subs of the night there. I take that back. Nathan Smith did some earlier, but thank you for that, Dick Jones.
What
and
a
thank you
great,
everyone who's hanging out. Wow,
what a great spot to like pause and read a shout out at, huh?
1,000 viewers yet again 3 nights in a row is pretty amazing. We're getting to it. I know you guys are here for WWE Champions. All right, it's coming. Okay. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, please give it a like. We're at 194. Let's get to 250 right now with over 1,000.
Conveniently not providing evidence outside of a testimony.
And no, while this was going on, a lot of detractors didn't believe it. This isn't a case of, oh, every single detractor is so stupid and they all believe this. No, a lot of people did not believe this at the time either.
The Kiwi Farms users were highly skeptical, but even so, were
highly skeptical, as was every other detractor.
Enjoying the chaos this person was causing. But day after day of not providing a single piece of evidence and users finding strange inconsistencies in her story, it was clear that the pieces were not fitting.
No, I'm going to be honest here. This is complete bullshit. They totally entertained this for many.
No, they didn't. Like, he's trying to change the, not change the subject. He's trying to like, oh, actually, they really did believe this. You don't have any proof or evidence. Like, just because one person asked you about it once, he's instantly thinking that every single detractor thought it was real. But literally, most people didn't buy into this at all.
Many months and never really complained. And then all of a sudden, like, one person actually researched it and found out the truth. And then other people started researching it and then they found out the truth. Oh, no, they loved it. Because they're going to spin it. They spin it to this day. Oh, we're the reason we found out that this was fake. I told you it was fake. I told you there's literally.
It doesn't matter what you say, Phil, because you lie. Like, to everyone that watches you, you lie all the time. Why would they ever believe anything you said, Phil? So it doesn't matter. You could say you walked in the sky today. Of course we're not going to believe that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he lies all the fucking time. So they're not going to just take your word on anything. No, the detractors did the digging. They found out that it wasn't real, and that's the end of it. And no one was really, like Joon said, it was like a lot of people were being skeptical even from the beginning about this.
Literally no evidence whatsoever. It's all circumstantial. You made it up. But no one.
You have no evidence that what you're saying right now is true, though. Because he's trying to change this and spin this into a bigger thing than what it was. This was not that big of a thing. It only lasted a couple weeks. Most people didn't even really believe him when it was going on. So it's like Phil's trying to spin. This is all Phil has. Because, like, this is the only W Phil has. Outside of this, he has no W. Because this was the only detractor theory that was 100% faked and made up. Every other detractor theory was basically correct in some way or another. The whole WWE Champions thing, absolutely correct. The only W that Phil has is the escort saga, because none of it was true at all, right? So he's trying to spin this into a bigger thing than what it is by making his W more pronounced, his win. His one win or gotcha moment on detractors, he's trying to make it seem like it was a bigger deal than what it was, when in reality, not that many people believed it anyway.
Everyone wants to believe Phil. Everyone wants to believe the negative dramatic about Phil.
Why would no one has any reason to believe you when you've lied about so much shit in the past, Phil? Why would they believe you?
No piece of evidence this person ever presented that wasn't just circumstantial, and it proved nothing. But people hate me so much, they all believed it for like many months.
They doubt you, yes. They doubt everything you say, correct. We need actual evidence to back up stuff.
Someone finally wised up and figured the whole thing out, which is fucked up that I get basically shat on for so many months for absolutely no reason and no evidence.
That's your fault for lying for so many years. You're like literally a habitual liar. A perpetual liar. Well, this is like a word for like people who like lie about every single fucking little thing. That's on you. You have developed that as a habit.
Evidence.
So why would they believe you? Discovered that the images were not of this person's origin that she comes out and says she was hacked. It was not her at all. It was a catfish using her Twitter with stolen images. But no one was convinced. As a final Hail Mary, this person attempted to shift the blame on Fred Fox of the defunct Sons of Kojima by taking down their website and bringing it back up with the simple Fred Fox in the heading.
Right.
It was not until this fake escort's identity was found under a different name, Angelina Capri, that the true culprits were unmasked. It was quite easy to find the domain registry, and with it came the identity. The culprits quickly tried to amend this information, but it had already been archived. The original registry had their full name, address, phone number, and their email. This gave the Kiwi Farms users everything they needed, and soon the culprits were fully doxxed, including their cat. Revealed and archived was their personal YouTube channel, one of their daughter's YouTube channels, Twitter's photo buckets, a lengthy history of information that was more than enough anyone needed to confirm this married couple ran an extortion and impersonation racket.
Just think about that. A married couple is running an extortion and impersonation racket, and apparently what they were trying to do was get so much negative shit out there about me that then they were going to blackmail me into paying them money. What they didn't realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that they already were fucking with the most hated man on the internet, so I didn't give two fucks what they said about me. They ruined themselves by, instead of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they probably picked the wrong victim there. I'll agree on Phil on that. They probably picked the worst person to try to scam out of that, because, yeah.
Could have went for this fruit or this fruit. They touched the fucking immune fruit, the spiky ass fruit. They reached
the
out,
immune
my hand's
fruit?
stuck.
What?
I have to get my hand up. What's going on? It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. And that's exactly what happened. You can't fuck with me because I've already been fucked with so much by everyone. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm completely immune to anyone saying shit about me because you've already said the lowest thing about me possible.
I don't know if I would say you're immune, but...
So who gives a fuck if an escort is real or fake? Who gives a fuck about any of this, right? So they fucked themselves. Who even knows? For the record, they never actually, like, personally wrote me. I'm assuming that was coming. If they didn't get blown up like this...
I don't think DSP is as broke as he likes to pretend that he is or claim that he is. Or he wouldn't be broke if he didn't live outside of his means anyway. Because he makes enough to live really comfortably if he just lived within his fucking means. But it's either one of two things. Either he has more money than he lets on, or he's living way, way outside of his fucking means. And couple that with the WWE Champions thing.
They probably would have. Or you know what? I'll say this too.
Which obviously he's still spending a lot of money on.
Fucking spam emails and troll emails and fucked up emails. It all goes to my fucking spam filter. Maybe it was just they were pinging me for months and it just went to spam, 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 and I never saw it. So I never knew anything about being extorted or anything because I never even heard from them. How funny is that? They were doing this for months for what? For nothing. There was nothing was ever going to come of it anyway, which is pretty fucking funny. Anyway,
and I can't say too much about WWE Champions because I did end up spending like $40 trying to get one character in Genshin Impact recently, and I still didn't get her, and I'm pissed off. I'm like, just let me buy the character for a certain amount of money. I hate gacha. Damn it. I wanted the new fire character in Genshin, and I'm like, I was pulling for her and I couldn't get her. I'm like, fuck. I lost my because it's a 50-50 chance, so like you could lose your 50-50 and get a basic character, not a basic, it's still a 5-star character, but one of the starter 5-star characters, not the main event character. And I'm like, I got fucking Mona again. I'm like, I don't want Mona, I wanted the fucking fire character, but is what it is. I get it.
Anyway, I just received a $30 tip.
She'll be back. They always do rerun banners.
I've never understand why people are so obsessed with your private life because there is
but
no
hey,
reason to.
At least it's an actual fun game in the first place, and I can actually use the character in the game, and it's not just fucking JPEG sweaty men fucking wrestling in a shitty ass fucking Bejeweled clone.
Be obsessed with my private life, except like you just said, obsession, like illness. That simple. These people's lives are so go. I didn't mean to click that.
What the hell are you doing? I'm skipping ahead.
Thank you.
Use more tips.
As to not spoil the ruse. It was only when they tried to extort Phil through a different tactic and interact with his highly paranoid community that this was all
swear,
discovered.
if you skip all the times he pauses to do like shout-outs and tips and stuff, this would be half the fucking length that it is.
If there was any doubt left, Phil would cave in and reveal his girlfriend Kat, who moved in shortly after.
Number one, like I said, it's the best relationship I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, look how thin Kat was at the time.
I truly do. And I am in love with her, absolutely. She's in love with me.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to try that because I'm not even that big a fan of wrestling to begin with anyway. But I've seen people play it and it looks so fucking bad.
And if she were to move in,
it's like one of the worst games to spend money on. Like, why would you waste money on this?
Or whatever, and make income to help immediately. It sucks. I was so sick.
And it was like, at least with like games, because like I'm a big MiHoYo fan, so I like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Third Impact. I like those games because at the very least, like, you don't get paywalled in those games. You can beat the whole game with, like, the basic free characters you get. And obviously the game gives you plenty of free stuff that you can use to pull, because it has, like, in-game currency, which is called Primo Gems. And just doing the quest will give you some free stuff that you can use to pull on it, right? But it's like, you can literally play the game with all, like, the basic free characters that the game gives you at fine. It doesn't paywall you. You don't need to get the top tier characters in order to beat the game or win the game. Even though the story is so long, it's going to take forever to actually beat anyway. And even if you run out of all your stamina for the day, you can still go and freely explore and fight all you want. So it's a lot better than most gacha games are nowadays.
I remember I was really sick this Christmas, but I needed to do my marathon and everything. I had to work. So here I am toughing through. My throat's all fucked up and shit. That's why I sound so bad. Number 2, cooking and everything, helping with the responsibilities
You
of
always
the house.
sound
So I could
bad.
get back to how I was.
And cook Kat did. The pair seemed well off. Even if Kat did appear awkward and uninteractive on stream, her uncombativeness was welcome. Were this
Very
cat reveal
awkward.
caused relief,
The reason that he said that, her uncombativeness was welcome, because my ex was so combative with the audience, and people were like, wait, she's like the polar opposite.
the next cat reveal only brought frustration. What Phil was currently revealing was a sponsorship from OP Seats. The same day Phil revealed it, OP Seats terminated their contract with Phil due to the backlash they were getting.
So let's talk, because I want to tell you the full story.
I got
of
the
how
chair,
basically-
though.
Oh, basically, one prime example of why I basically cannot get sponsorships. This is it right here. Dead on,
And that's
100%.
because
Here we
of
go.
you,
Taking
Phil.
Sponsorship. And then all of a sudden, because of
You
the actions of
brought
trolls,
you brought all of this on yourself, including the trolls, because the majority of the original trolls were pissed off fans of yours at the time.
the sponsorship is now gone. Okay.
Even so, in February, Phil procured a different sponsor but remained with a similar product of a gaming chair. Gaming chairs across the board are disreputable for their style of function. That was not the only reason SpawnSeat, the sponsor of Phil, was getting backlash. As it was discovered, this new company was not really a company at all. It was a person drop-shipping cheap gaming chairs with an inflated price. So not only did this new sponsorship fall through, the company attached to it failed along with it. Phil was hardly sympathetic.
Fact of the matter is, folks, it doesn't really affect me because guess what?
I
got
still
the
got
chair.
the chair.
I got the chair already.
Anyway,
That's why I
guys.
didn't do a lick of promotion.
And he
until, like,
still has that. He still has that chair on his other desk, his actual computer desk, in the corner that's like across from where he streams. So he still uses that
got
chair.
the chair. And I talked to the guy up front about this, the possibility of nasty shit happening, and he said, "No, I understand. Don't worry, we'll put up with it." It is
Wow,
what it is, guys.
these early
I'm sorry,
PUBG
that was-
streams
I
are
never
really
used
interesting.
That was so based. I'm sorry, that was a based comment. Because it's true. I told the guy up front, I was like, I already had a sponsorship with the chair company, and my trolls harassed them, and it fell through. And he's like, that's okay, we'll still handle it. I was like, are you sure? All right. I was like, all right, buddy, you're biting off more than you can chew, but whatever. You send me that chair, it's mine. I ain't shipping it back. And that's exactly what happened. He sent me the chair, and then they went out of
It's so
business. within, like, a month.
cringy. Oh, it's
And
so
my chair,
based.
it's crappy. Like, the chair's not good at all. It's not this chair. This is a good chair. This is one I bought. But no, I take it back. Actually, now that I'm misremembering, a fan actually got me.
Oh
this chair, so
yeah,
I take that back.
okay,
I want this
yeah. Oh wait, no, actually, now that I'm remembering, a fan got it. I didn't buy it. Bullshit. Every single thing that he claims a fan bought for him, he bought himself. Obviously, we all know
the fan
that.
who bought this for me. The chair from Sponsies. Yeah, it's crap. It's a crappy ass chair. Within like a few months of owning it, you know how it's the hydraulic pump or whatever's in it. It's the height elevation or whatever. You pull it, you go up and down. It broke. So when it goes up and you sit down, it goes. Like, dude, I only used it for like 3 months. Thing's broken already. So thank God I didn't get into a contract. They're selling those pieces of shit, right? But all those suck. All those fucking chairs.
Oh
suck.
yeah,
Every
thank
one of them
God I
is
didn't make
overpriced
any
garbage.
money off these scammers.
I received a $6.66. We all know that 97 cents. Now that's very to hear that thing.
Oh my God! Stop.
Obviously,
Go back to the
On VR
react.
chat.
Can you please go in?
this dude. We're gonna do this one. This is funny. Let's do it.
This one is funny.
Wait, ready? Here we go.
Sure, where is the waiting room?
Right behind you, idiot. You click on that.
Call me an idiot.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying
Phil knows nothing about actual kids, like at all.
Figure out
And
what's
thank
going
God
on.
he doesn't actually have kids.
Well, if you look around, you would have been able to know.
What a brat. Is it my first time ever playing VR chat? I walk into a random room, right? And I'm just looking around. Like, literally, I'm just looking around. And the brat
You clearly weren't looking around, otherwise you would have seen
comes up
it.
to me and says, go to the waiting area. Okay, well, where is it? Right over there, you idiot. What the fuck? I just showed up. It's like my first experience ever playing this game. And this is immediately what I'm
Bro, like, it's a good thing you...
presented. Like, what? You heard what they said? Oh, you should look around. Well, the wall of instructions is over there. So if I go over there, you're going to yell at me and say that I'm not in line.
In line for
It's
what?
like, why am I even arguing with this child? Okay, so now listen to what I
Yeah,
said.
exactly. You could tell by how he's reacting to this, he's still butthurt about this. I'm like, Phil, let it go. It's a child. Who gives a shit?
Waiting room on top of it.
Wow. You're quite rude.
I'm 11. Deal with it.
Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they fucked with me like that. I would have fucking pimp slapped that shit out of that. Now, do you really think I would have pimp slapped the shit out of that kid in real life?
Yes, I actually do think you would have done something like that.
No. I would never strike a child. But it's funny to say, if they're gonna fucking say shit to me in an online setting, that
How thin of a skin do you have, Phil? Jesus Christ, let it
I
go.
can say shit back, and there's nothing they can fucking do about
Let it go.
Right? You wanna know the truth?
Let it go.
My trolls mass flagged that video saying that I was bullying a child, okay?
You were.
YouTube, being stupid, actually flagged my video and said that I had broken community terms of service. I disputed it and I got it removed. I said, you're out of your mind. The child is not there. I'm not slapping a child. What are you talking about? Do you even understand the English language? So they reversed it.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Shit like that. I'm not kidding. Every moment, everything I say on a stream, they are always mass flagging me and trying to get me into trouble for shit that I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what did I do wrong there? Nothing.
This Pokemon-themed pixel art was made to commemorate the occasion. These small moments carried Phil's live streams for 2018. Nothing individually significant happening, but enough happening to remind the internet of his existence. This all hardly competed with ongoing events, relative to the collaboration between popular live streamer Ninja and popular musician Drake.
This is great. This is great, too. I'm happy he put this in there. I can't wait to comment on this one. So here we go.
DSP
you see how fast he is to shit on more popular people? Oh man, I'm great. I'm so glad he added this into it, because Ninja's a fucking asshole, and I'm gonna shit all over him, because he's jealous. He's such a jealous little bitch.
Practically non-existent, until he began tweeting about their collaboration, starting by calling Drake and Ninja overrated. Phil sought to detract from this collaboration, from the likes of which were rarely, if ever, seen. Tweet after tweet, he argued with Twitter users. At some point, he even slighted PewDiePie, claiming he is a product of hype and not quality content. Either of these interactions...
Now, in reality, this is probably me. I wonder, because he doesn't have date and timestamps on here. You gotta wonder, am I drunk? Just throwing that out
Probably.
there.
I mean, it has it has the 12 minutes from whenever it happened, but yeah. Probably we're fucking drunk.
Am I drunk right now? And just being stupid and raging at the internet on my fucking social media because I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Social media.
I can't see me doing this during the day when I'm streaming all day working. So when exactly was I doing this? You know what I'm saying? It's probably the middle of the night. I'm drunk. I'm acting like an idiot, right? But this is the kind of shit that they like freak out about. They're like, oh,
excuses.
Dude, who cares? The Drake and Ninja collaboration, with so many people were like, oh my god, if Drake and Ninja are playing Fortnite, this is the ultimate crossover of all time. It will change gaming forever. So what exactly did it change? Did gaming blow up because Drake played fucking Fortnite?
No, you showed your ass. You showed how jealous of a little bitch you are about something that didn't really matter in the long run anyway. But the fact that you went out, made tweet after tweet after tweet, and were going and arguing with people late into the fucking night just goes to prove how fucking jealous you were. You little bitch, so jealous of every other people's perceived successes. And pocket watching other people. That's all. That's why people are making a big deal out of it.
You all buy hype. That's the thing that I've always been against. People who are so dumb, they buy hype for no fucking reason, and they think that there was zero importance to that event. They could have turned on a stream and someone farted into the fucking microphone for 2 straight hours and turned it back off, and it would have had just as much impact as the Ninja and Drake stream. It didn't matter.
Oh my god, he's doing it now! He's still doing it to this day! Phil, you're doubling down on your jealousy, and it's really fucking pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. You're doubling down on the jealousy that you're having.
They're playing. Shut the fuck up. It's stupid as shit. It didn't affect anything. Didn't help anyone but Ninja. That was it. Drake didn't need it. It helped Ninja. It helped Ninja's career. So if you think that helping Ninja's career was a world-shaking gaming event, go for it, you know? I mean, here we
No one said that. No one was claiming that. No one said that.
Years later, Ninja is still successful, but he's sure not how popular as he used to be. Right? Maybe if he kept doing collabs like that, he would have been. But now he's doing his own thing, and more power to him for succeeding.
Oh, okay. Now you're gonna
do. But no one gave a fuck about this who had a brain.
Pat him on the back.
Or Phil was just in many prominent content creators' minds, as in not so quick succession, they took their turns mocking Phil. Like iDubbbz promoting the idea of Phil doing a collaboration with any rapper. In the background, there were leaks about Phil.
I didn't know about that. I also don't care. Who gives a fuck what iDubbbz has to say today? Take a look at that guy.
Wanted to take down a video that forced
Still more popular than you.
the S-word saga, but in the foreground was PewDiePie.
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looked like. Onion Man versus Soy Boy.
iJustine was voted into another response from the same quote. And Phil finally also made it into a Watch Mojo video.
This Twitch user had the bad idea of prematurely turning on his camera.
It's completely wrong. This Twitch user, I wasn't doing that on Twitch. That happened on YouTube. Their countdown it was the top 10 like worst moments on Twitch or most embarrassing moments on Twitch, and they said I was #1, and I didn't stream on Twitch. So just think about that. It's a Watch Mojo video, and they're wrong.
You mean a Watch Mojo video was incorrect on something? I am shocked. Shocked. A Watch Mojo video was incorrect. Oh my gosh.
All about
You don't say.
They're completely wrong. The whole premise of the video is wrong. I wasn't on Twitch.
Right before starting the live stream, he gives himself a short break to relax.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on
Camera's been on the whole time, huh? Well,
still think that's
There was a renaissance of
you not think
sorts
that's
in
the
ways
best quote
creators
ever?
were able to make Phil entertaining. Few
what are you trying to pretend you did it on purpose now, Phil?
as creative as L Crimson King.
Ah.
What do you say? Elvis is shit, King?
Yes. Gotta
This
love
fucking piece of garbage disc.
the fucking puppet. We all love the puppet. We all stand the puppet.
Fuck it. It's gonna stay back there forever. I'm never fucking picking it up again. Don't ever ask, is this where the rumor or the puppet came from or whatever? Because I didn't even know that this was real. Ask me to play that fucking game again. That's the worst fucking game. That game is way worse than Revolution 16. Seriously.
You click on that.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
This video would be honored by the creation of its own snore compilation. This emphasis on creative ways to mock Phil made the latter half of 2018 appear creatively bankrupt in comparison.
So whatever happened to that puppet? Does it still exist? I want that puppet. Whoever has that puppet.
No, you do not deserve that puppet of you, Phil. A detractor should get, like a really high respected detractor should get it. I would love to see Len the Deranged get it, or someone like that. Maybe Tevin. Something like that. Someone like that should get that puppet. Phil does not deserve that puppet.
Contact me. I want it for my setup. I'll put it right behind me 1 month. I'll have it sitting right here next to me the whole fucking time. I want that puppet for my setup. That's awesome. I have literally not a problem whatsoever with that puppet. That puppet is amazing. I want it.
In the same vein, Phil was also suffering from his own potential bankruptcy.
Basically, in a nutshell, without going into too much detail, I'm not partnered anymore.
In July, he announced that he had split from Curse, claiming the separation to be amicable. Now, having to rely on his own, unsuspended AdSense account, Phil found that he was making far less than he was with his partnership. On top of this, his views were halved without explanation, going from an average of 2 million a month to hovering just around 1 million.
Yeah.
And so Phil did what he calls an emergency livestream.
Yeah, and I have no idea what happened there at all. My only guess is that once again, somehow YouTube kind of blacklisted the channel and didn't put it into the algorithm. Because I worked hard since 2015 when I had those false copyright strikes to bust my ass, to keep putting out content and stay the course.
I'm busting my ass, guys.
For some reason, all of a sudden there was another big dip in views, and it didn't make sense. Like where'd this dip come from? It doesn't really make sense. And by the way, it happened again last year too. These dips just happen. I didn't change my content. I didn't piss anyone off. There's no giant controversy going on or anything at the time.
Well, I think that's probably just what happens when you rely on YouTube and Twitch for your income stream. That's probably how that happens there, Phil.
It just happens out of nowhere. It's like, so what caused it?
Yeah, I would love to see a King Cobra puppet. That would be fucking cool.
All right, is this going to be the beginning of the emergency streams saga, perhaps? Let's see.
Trying to brainstorm ways and goad sympathetic viewers to help with donations. Provided was also advice. Yeah. A common recommendation is to get a job outside of content creation.
Yep.
Phil, not wanting to consider this option, had these messages delivered in rather creative ways. Phil, being a fan of the WWE, reacted to this person holding up a sign that reads, quote, DSP get a job, unquote. This was not even the first time this happened. Last year, a person held up a similar sign, though less legible. Phil opting to continue streaming to a dwindling audience would suffer the consequences of dealing with his remaining audience. These are superfans that stuck with him regardless of countless examples of Phil's ill will, and on the other side are his most persistent trolls that remain even after the majority of trolls lost interest in Phil's cyclical nature. On the other side was a user known as Student Common, or Tut for short.
Ooh,
they came in donating thousands of dollars, but also used the money they donated as leverage as they could circumvent what will get a normal person banned simply because of their influence. But even Tut pushed this beyond what Phil could endure. After creating much unwanted attention for Phil and Phil pushing back, Tut threatened to charge back the money he donated. A chargeback is when someone donates money, gets the desired effect of having the streamer read their message, and then, in a later date, petitions PayPal or whatever financial medium they're using to get their money back. Yep. This is done by stating that the money was fraudulently sent or by other dishonest means. And Tut did try to charge back some of that money, only to fail as PayPal sided with Phil. This was a victory for Phil, but in the grand scheme of how much he was bound to owe, it didn't seem like much.
In addition to my normal income, I need to raise about another roughly $16,000 between now and April.
This plays into why Phil is labeled as an e-beggar, a person that petitions, guilds, or even demands donations from the audience. While it is normal for streamers to subtly stimulate donations through appreciation, Phil's tactics are more direct.
So, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. You know, now it's 2024, correct? It is 2024, and
you still e-beg.
Basically,
you don't even start, Phil. Every time you're still fucking e-begging. You've been e-begging. Your begging has gotten worse since then, because at least back then it was like you had emergency streams here and there, and that was it. Now you're doing it every fucking day. You are copying Kino Casino's attempt. I mean, Kino Casino begs a lot, but I think they can kind of get away with it a little bit more because they're on Kick and no one is on Kick. But like, you're mimicking the way they beg, and you're doing it way fucking more now than you ever did back then.
Today, as you guys know, over the last several years,
oh, but I don't do these major emergency streams anymore. It doesn't matter because you're still begging, though. I've
tried to change for the better. A lot of people have called me out for being bad to my audience, including Moist Critical did it live on a stream. Okay, hold on. I do want to say something at length about this. Okay, and basically in the last couple of years, I've had a real kind of revelation about all this.
Yeah,
and I agree. Now, back then again, I didn't because I was stupid and I was scared. I was in financial distress. You know, literally sometimes I was going paycheck to pay for stuff. This is leading up to my bankruptcy saga, which is what's going to be next, I think, in the documentary. And essentially, now I've tried to be better, okay? But back then, I will 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% agree with my critics. It was obnoxious. It was way over the top. It was fucking insanely annoying, right? When you tune into a stream, you want to be entertained. So the entertainment should be henceforth coming first. Not, by the way, guys, I really need you to pay me today.
What entertainment, though? You don't entertain anyone. Your content is dull. Your commentary is boring. Like, I don't know how you have any unironic fans, to be honest.
Hey, I really need you to,
but they are pretty dented.
Make sure that I don't lose my house and I don't fucking have a problem with this or that. I need to raise this much in a certain amount of months. People want to just lose themselves in entertainment and not think about their own personal trials and things. So if they're coming to your stream for that, why do they want to hear about yours? Correct? I took the opposite attitude. I'll be transparent with the audience and tell them all of my problems, and hopefully that will convince them to help. No, the audience just wants to have fun. If the audience is having fun, then they will reciprocate with financial support. You see? Now,
then why do you stop your stream every 5 seconds to beg for more money, Phil?
Now, like I said, I was desperate. I was in a really bad life situation
Still
for several
are.
years there. And I had a bunch of big problems, all right? I admit it. And now things are very different. This last month and a half, things are exploding, and I don't really have to worry that much anymore. So you notice I'm not doing it, but I've already...
It's so funny watching this back in retrospect a little bit, especially now that the whole Kino Casino arc is done, and he's basically back to square one where he was before. Because all that, like, new support and, like, new eyes on him have dried out, and donation-wise, he's 100% right back to where he was before. So it's kind of funny watching this in retrospect now.
Made changes, for example, right? We used to have monthly celebration events based on the number of members that I had on this channel, okay? I got rid of them. I said, you know what? Instead of motivating people to become a member to do an event, let's just do the event, and if people like the event, maybe they'll become a member.
You did that because of the Argentinian subs, Phil. That was not because of that.
It's the opposite. You give the content they want, and then they'll support, instead of saying support, and then I'll give you the content you want. I reversed it, and that's been for 1.5 years, 2 years we've been doing it like that. So I'm making these changes slowly to try to make the content less about
I still think he should
hey,
bring back the vest and hat goals, though. I still think he should try to bring that back.
Pay. But it's like the guys at Kino Casino say, ask and you shall receive. Every once in a while, bring it up. Right
it's
now,
more than every once in a while.
We got over 1,100 viewers. We have 250 likes.
Oh my God, he's gonna
get height positivity. When you spin it like that, instead of, oh, what was me? I need monies because so
you're still doing it. E-begging is e-begging no matter what, Phil.
Shit, right? But I've learned through experience. All of this criticism of me doing this so much.
Don't worry, guys. He's only 42 years old, and he's been doing this for 16 years. But after 15 years, he's slowly learning something that normal people would learn in like maybe a couple months. No, it takes him like 15 fucking years to learn it. Okay.
The past is 100% correct. But I know that now. You only know that once you go through doing the wrong thing, learn from experience.
For 15 years.
This was the wrong way to go about it, and now I agree with all of this. It was fucked up to go do it this way. Taxes are going to be my main thing I have to figure out this year. Making enough money not only to pay the bills, but my taxes are coming up. And right now I'm focused on just getting through this year. Hopefully being able to pay my taxes somehow. I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, taxes are always something that are on my mind. I've got tax payments due. So, my state taxes are due in January. My federal taxes are due in April. If I could get through paying the taxes for next year, the federal taxes, their taxes were high. Things like tip goals and the like on stream to try to raise funds for my taxes and all that.
This very much works. In December, Phil's relentless discussions of money launched him into the 4th highest number of Tier 3 subs. These are subscribers that cost $25, and somehow Phil got 204 of them.
Yes, because this was one person. This was one incredibly generous person who came on Twitch and gifted all of those to the community. Actually, we had more than 204. Did we not? Didn't that person come on and gift like insane amount? I think they did. I want to say they gifted more than that. Maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been so long. But yeah, like they came in and they just gifted like crazy. It was wild how much they did. And it was within like 2 weeks they did it too.
With an average of 372 viewers means that each viewer paid on average $13 solely.
So just think about that. That was what year is that? We're talking about 2018? So in 2018, I only had 372 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I have 1,142 viewers. Okay? So,
not anymore, you don't. You only have that many people because you were reacting to your own documentary, and it was really big at the time. That's the only reason. You go to any of his streams nowadays, he has like anywhere from 200 to 300, and that's it. He's lucky to make 300 on a normal stream day.
I'm just saying, the eternal, downfall of darksydephil. I'm just saying. I think
but he's so cocky. Look at how cocky he is. Phil, like, it doesn't matter what small little amount of thing will help you. You will eventually be right back down to where you fucking started or worse.
Change, but it's been a recent change. So I don't fault Joon for calling the documentary this, but I get it. Like
yeah, he was right in the long one. It's still an eternal downfall.
Really did look like it was down.
It'll always be down.
I've got this resurgence.
At the end of the day,
that's a kind of a flip the other way, don't you think? By the way, I received a $20 tip. That's absolutely.
Donations and all tiers of sub.
They were literally all gifted. Every one of those
have also been taken into consideration. And Phil also receives donations that, for the time being, were not accounted for. Typically, surges in donations or the like are linked to unique or interesting streamers rising in the ranks of receiving donations to produce more of their content. And to Phil's credit, he was planning to do something unique. Something no streamer would ever even consider. And that is a marathon to raise money to pay for his taxes.
All right, it's going to be via tips, meaning the only real viable way for you to contribute and help me out in this situation is to tip me, because you tip me via sending funds to my PayPal, and that allows me. I do wish that his editors did a better job with the audio, because I can barely hear myself talking right now. But then again,
that was your fucking mic for how many years, Phil?
My setup's fault. My setup, the audio was super low for many years. I don't know why. Thank you, EDW.
Because you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing.
EDW Raptor, you're securing the sanction funds toward my taxes.
The marathon was to take place in March of 2019. The goal was to raise around $5,000 through tips.
2018 or 19, did he say? I cleared my throat and I missed it. Can I go back? How do you go back 10 seconds? Okay. And put those funds toward my taxes.
The marathon was to take place in March of 2019.
It was 2019. Crunchy's Onion did a super chat. Did you ever annoy yourself with the begging? Can I be honest? Just turn on my stream, clips together. What about money? You don't have to worry about money. Issue me into this moment. Well, offers with Cole just leaderboard. 67 cents out of. I probably got, no lie, like $500 tips today, and all those only like 60%. So, but it is what it is. Thank you guys.
This was not very close to his $5,000 goal. So Phil did a second marathon in April where he made a bit more money as seen through the bar at the top. Again, stating where all the money would go to.
I said, so people have been asking me questions like, so what's going to happen now? It's very simple. With all the money that I've raised for these taxes, I'm going to go to my tax guy and say, this is what I have.
There was some natural skepticism and some paranoia.
By the way, I know where Joon's going with this because he actually asked me directly about this. So I'm about to get felted, everyone. Remember, prepare your butts. If you want to see the king get destroyed right now, I'm about to be...
Was this before? This was right before his wedding, right? Yeah. Because at this point, Cat was already living with him. So this was the scam right before the wedding. And then he used this money to, like, go and get married or whatever. Supposedly.
crushed and destroyed by Joon. He got me on this one really good, and I have absolutely no defense for it. So let's go.
Around Phil, as he has shown himself to be a dishonest person. And so, in the detractor community, wild theories spread, but only the most gullible swallowed all theories around Phil. The newest theory came from the blindsiding reveal that Phil had gotten married to Kat and used the funds earned from the tax marathon streams to finance some of the wedding.
That's completely false. That's not true at all. But I think that Joon catches me in another way coming up, so we'll see.
But Phil got on stream to quell some of the unrest.
And by the way, as I'm going to explain, don't worry, again, everything's going to be explained. Everything I told you guys up front about that stuff is true. Everything, every dollar that was raised to help with taxes is going towards the taxes. Dun, dun, dun. So here's the endless loop of what happens with me, is that something happens that's positive, right? My detractors make something negative about it and accuse me of something. And I stupidly buy into it hook, line, and sinker. I go on stream
this to this day,
and I say, hey, everyone, this is blah, blah, blah. And if I just kept my mouth shut, no one would care. But instead, I open my mouth to directly respond to the detractors. And every fucking time that I usually have done that, it shoots me in the ass, right? Every single time that I did that, it's like, haha, see, we got it.
It shoots me in the ass, guys.
I said, every single dollar that we raised during that marathon has gone to taxes. Let's continue, and I have some shout-outs to do, but let's continue. Let's finish this point first, and then I'll do the shout-outs.
Now Phil is reasserting that all the money went to taxes. But later in the day, he states that was not the case.
Yep, and I did. I did 2 different marathon events, all right, that raised, in total, if you actually look at the amount of tips that I raised that can go towards these taxes, was around, I think, I want to say just under $2,500. But also what people need to understand, which they don't, is that normally I raise tips, and normally tips go to paying bills. So even though I raised $2,500, a chunk of that had to just go to pay my monthly stuff normally. And so, oops. So if I kept my mouth shut and just said, thanks for all the contributions, would have been done. But the moment that I opened my mouth and I said, well, every single dollar that was raised went to taxes, that was a lie. Because in truth, I still got to pay bills. I still got to buy groceries. I still got to do my usual
potato,
shit,
tomato.
Right?
Oh my God.
That would have been a day I normally would have worked and raised some money to do those things. So in reality, I'm fessing up later in the day. Well, the truth is not all the tip money went, or not all the money raised went to tips. Immediately, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? You got caught, Phil, in a big lie. You said the money was going all to the taxes, and instead you spent it on other things. It's like, well, you got me. You're right. Because I was dumb, and I bought into it, and I opened my big stupid mouth and said something dumb that was not true. I got goaded into it by my detractors. Once again, time number 1 zillion, where I'm a dummy, and I got fooled again. And it's a pattern where they goad me into doing something, I take the bait, and then here we go. I'm a dummy, right? If I just didn't say the exaggeration that every single dollar goes to taxes, no one would have cared. It's only because I opened my mouth that then that happened, right? Okay, we have a significant amount of shout-outs to do.
Skip. Don't care about his old tips.
For the king, still not in the stream.
Oh my God! Look at how long.
Totally 100%
oh wait.
on me.
Throughout his marathon.
All right, I kind of want to keep that I had left over afterwards to put towards the federal taxes.
Phil had lied throughout his marathon streams and the streams afterwards by now stating that over $500 or so went towards his bills and other expenses.
And that's right. And it's all my fault. I misspoke. And it's totally 100% on me for misspeaking like I did. I should have been more upfront. I should have been more transparent. And I wasn't.
This contradiction seemed too great, so I asked Phil about it. Phil responded with a superbly long-winded response. His answer is buried in this line. 2 words in his 357-word response. Quote, I misspoke. Unquote.
Because I explained the whole situation. You keep in mind, Joon asks me a question about it. I don't even know what he's talking about. I think he sent me a clip. And then I had to watch the clip, and I don't know what else he knows. I don't know if he's watched other clips around it. So basically, I explained the entire situation around it, and then I said, I misspoke, right?
Meaning that he misspoke about all the money going to taxes.
Correct.
What I failed to mention was this was not the only piece of evidence I had reconfirming that all the money from his fundraising would go to taxes.
But again, as I've already said, I can assure all of you that there was no deception whatsoever on my part outside of the fact that the wedding existed. All funds that I raised for taxes and the like are going towards taxes. Not in the back of my head. See, because here's the thing. I always have things going on in the back of my head that I don't say. And that's my fault. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, everyone knows that even though I'm doing a fundraiser for taxes, I still have to eat this week, right? Like everyone knows that I still have to pay for my car this month. You know, I probably have to put gas in my car this month or this week or whatever. I probably have to pay my mortgage this month. I have to, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is I didn't say that. When I outright say every dollar of the fundraiser is going to taxes and then it doesn't, that's on me. I should have been way more transparent. I should have been honest with the audience. And I'm thinking, oh, it's common sense that everyone would know that. Not everyone is me. Not everyone lives in my shoes and understands my
Thank
perspective.
God.
So I have to be transparent, and I've tried to learn to do that better, since. But Joon's got me. I told you, he's got me 100%. 100%. It was me basically the entire way saying one thing and then doing another. Red-handed. Not a dollar. Not a single dollar that was supposed to be raised for taxes went towards anything during this wedding or anything. Nothing.
The clear answer is Phil lied. And the
Because, and by the way, because remember how the situation started? Everyone said that all the money raised for the taxes was going towards me going to Connecticut to get married. Not a single dollar raised during that event went to the wedding. All of that was paid for by my parents, 100%. So the lie that I'm telling is, oh, every dollar went to taxes, but actually it went to pay for some regular stuff too. The lie the detractors are telling is, well, he spent all the tax money on the trip to get married. So that's why I'm acting like this. I'm feeling ultra defensive again. Again, the bait set, and I take the bait, and I stupidly fall for it. It's my fault. But I didn't spend any of the money on what they were saying. It was a different lie entirely that was actually taking place. That's a lot more reasonable to explain away, but it's still a lie.
The money raised is unaccountable. What few people knew at the time was Phil had a 10-year plan. In a conversation with his mother, who had bailed him out previously and delayed a potential bankruptcy, Phil was presented with two decisions: file for bankruptcy or develop a 10-year plan. This 10-year plan was meant to phase him out of content creation into a more traditional job.
Okay, so the general explanation makes sense. Let's see where he goes with it, because I don't know if I need to clarify it all. Okay.
It was even clear to his family at this point that his online presence was only causing trouble for him and those surrounding him. Even now, there was an uproar of displeasure where a few mods were rebelling and leaking private chats and other items surrounding Phil due to his recent lies about where the marathon money was going. Phil did not understand the depth.
But they believed that the marathon money went to my wedding, which it didn't. They believed the detractor lie. They weren't upset that I said all the money's going to taxes, and then I said, oh, actually I spent some money on groceries and shit this week. That's what they were mad about. They bought the detractor lie, hook, line, and sinker, that I spent money on the wedding when I didn't.
Of this backlash. On the flip side, Phil did not understand goodwill either. On May 9, 2019, Phil tweeted, quote, took a day off the entire internet, but hashtag ProJared hilarity was at the top of everyone's Twitter feed. Haha, whoops. Unquote. Now that ProJared was
that, like, the what was it, 7 or 10-year-old grudge that he had held against ProJared. Oh, but the Gouty Viper struck again. He held on to that grudge for, like, what, 10 years or some bullshit?
Going through his own controversy sparked from his loot Tumblr and confusing open relationship, Phil jumped in on the anti-ProJared bandwagon.
But the only reason I did is because, look at the tweet below. He had
doesn't matter. How are you holding a grudge for that fucking long?
Earlier, and I literally never clapped back. I just sat there and I bided my time. And then when his moment...
How pathetic is that, though, Phil? How fucking pathetic of a person are you?
Came, oops. Maybe you shouldn't have said anything, because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have ever said a word. But it's his own fault.
Oh, bullshit. You would have said something even if he didn't say anything.
Soundingly successful tweet, Phil went on a stream chat and simultaneously downplayed and exaggerated the success of the tweet. Yep. By the 11th, Phil was so confident that this tweet was bringing him the goodwill of the internet that he made this.
I don't believe that at all. Let's see what he says. The reason I'm doing this is because in the past couple of days, the internet at large has finally kind of turned an eye to me for the first time in a major way.
Oh my god, nothing changes with this man. Nothing changes with him. What he's done 10 years ago, he still does to this day. Listen, I'm going to rewind it a little bit. Listen to what Phil is saying back then and see if it doesn't sound familiar. See if this maybe sounds like something he had said recently with the whole Kino Casino arc, right? When the Kino Casino arc was first starting, he said this exact same shit back then.
Days. The internet at large has finally kind of turned an eye to me for the first time in a major way in a long time in an actual positive light. I do remember this. I'm not kidding you.
You see what I'm saying? Any small, minute, little increase in viewership, increase in awareness of darksydephil, and he, like, over-exaggerates the nth degree about, like, oh, well, my detractors, like, well, people have changed their opinion on darksydephil. Now they love me. Now they realize that I'm not an idiot anymore, and they think that I'm amazing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the smallest little thing, and he thinks, like, the general opinion of darksydephil on the internet as a whole has drastically changed just because a couple extra people are watching him, or he thinks a couple extra people are watching him. It's really fucking pathetic.
After I made that tweet, and that tweet actually kind of went viral a bit, we had big content creators were retweeting it and shit and laughing at it. I was getting messaged by people I hadn't heard from in like years. And they were like, Phil, I've heard you've been down on your luck lately,
this is
but
all
wow,
bullshit.
you really got him because, man, he
This
chatted on
is
me for no reason years
bullshit.
earlier. That was a
Come
good
on,
one.
Phil.
And I wish you the best. I was like getting messaged by tons of people. People were laughing with me instead of at me for a change. I was like, oh,
For
people
one
are actually laughing
second.
with me instead of at me for a change? Well, maybe I'll try to take advantage of that. And now that a few more people are checking out my content.
This video is titled DSP Tries It, Debunking 7 Years of Slander.
Oh,
And it didn't work
Lord.
because no one cared. Seriously, no one gave a shit about this video.
Because you didn't debunk anything, Phil. You don't know what debunking is. Debunking is providing actual evidence to disprove what people are saying. No one is going to take your word over someone else's word with zero evidence to back it up, Phil. That's why it didn't work.
In a nearly 2-hour video, Phil took a cursory glance at some of his controversial moments, like the time he said Minecraft was stupid, dating Panda Lee while she was 18, or explaining the escort drama that had long been proven false. Lacking here was everything else, from his financial woes, his treatment of his audience, his lashing out at other creators through minimizing their achievements or insulting them altogether. Phil's video was completely lackluster. Even a successful video dispelling his controversies would not change the fact that the reason people watch Phil is to laugh at his antics.
Absolutely right. He's absolutely right. A couple more shout outs here. I got a $2 from Buy. Secretly think you.
On the other hand, tend to be captivating.
Marky Mark says, what is my favorite drink? I like White Russians. Oh, I never had a White Russian before. Never had a White Russian.
What drew viewers' attention?
No, whoa. That's taken completely out of context. Marky Mark says, what's your favorite drink? I like White Russians. And then I answered. I didn't answer, I like White Russians. That's actually bad. June, that one you actually fucked up. That's bad. 22707. That's completely out of context. That's the person tipping said they like White Russians. Then I answered what I liked. So that's awful. That's actually a really bad one. Sorry. I got you once so far in the documentary. So there you go. You know I had to get him once. I mean, that's blatant getting it wrong.
Now was a reveal stream with a $1,000 goal. Phil promised a big positive reveal. Users guessed all throughout, and none of them hit the mark.
That's what I said. I just said a big positive reveal. That's all I said. I said it's a big positive reveal that could possibly help out and influence future streams. That's exactly what I said.
Some even thought.
And many people back then were guessing that it was a cat, and you lied to them and said, no, it's definitely not a cat, guys. Oh, no.
That the reveal was a new cat, which Phil denied. Finally, the goal was hit, and the positive reveal came.
I got someone I'd like you to meet. Come on up here. Come on up here, buddy. You want to come up here? You want me to pick you up? Someone who actually is not a new addition to the family. Someone who I'm going to introduce you to today, who has been a part of our lives for quite some time.
God, he looks so fucking ugly. I'm sorry. It's just...
With all the stuff that we've had to do, we've had to keep a lot of stuff private. Come on up here. Here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to our pet.
Phil's reveal was his cat Jasper, but users already guessed the reveal was a new cat. Phil's reasoning was they did not guess correctly enough.
So a lot of people, you're right, a lot of people did guess that a cat was the thing. The thing, a lot of people say, oh, it's a new cat. It's a new cat. It's not. Jasper actually has been our cat for a while. Wow, what a dirty way to spin it. Oh, you said a new cat. Now he's not a new cat. We had him for a while. Wow, that's great. No, I'm sorry, that's good.
Yeah, semantics bullshit.
If I'm going to promise you a big surprise, and someone guesses it correctly, should I say, well, you guys guessed it. All right, surprise is off. Everyone already knows. Is that fun? Or is it fun to say, nah, you're all wrong, you're all wrong. By the way, here's the surprise, because no one knew really what it was, right? So, yeah, I should have just totally just fucking ruined the surprise entirely, right? I mean, but that's amazing. I spun it like that. That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you always do shit like that. That's king of semantics, remember?
I think that's hilarious. He's not a new cat. We've had...
Of there being a second positive reveal. The easiest way to find out how controversial a stream was to find out how many bans occurred that day. And according to this user-made graph, the day Jasper was revealed, there were 451 bans on his stream.
Damn.
How the fuck would you know that? That's insanely wrong. There's no way. You really think that moderators are sitting here banning people 451 times in a day? The only way that could be true is if someone was spamming the chat with bots, like coming in with a bunch of bots, and then we had to take care of it because no one else could talk. That's it. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no fucking way. 451 people, unless it was bots. That's the only way I could see that's correct. On a normal day, look, no, hold on a second. Now, this is really bullshit. Take a look. I have a cursor. Oh, cool. I can use this. You're telling me that they're saying every single day that I streamed, we banned 100 people? No. No, this is absolutely not correct at all. I don't care. He's using some fucking detractor graph, and there's no way to verify this information. There's absolutely no fucking way we were banning 100
Maybe
people.
they're counting every time you, like, leaned over the lean over manual ban or whatever. And like just because you lean over it, it looks like you're banning someone.
A day from the chat. That's nuts. That's incredible conspiracy horseshit. Sorry, Joon, on this one, dude. You read a detractor graph and you believed it. There is no fucking way that this is true. I don't buy this graph for a fucking second. That is nonsense, dude.
But this graph relates to Phil's stream only. On September 29, 2019, Phil was seen not on his own channel, but on the Quarterings, a creator who's controversial in his own right, but utilizes it to make a living.
Yeah, the Quartering's a fucking joke in and of its himself. Anyway, he's like an extreme far right, like fucking pedophile and neo-Nazi, basically, essentially. So he's like a fucking
something long anticipated
idiot.
Because Phil sits in the relative safety of his own streams and controls the dialogue. Adding a different prominent creator would mean there would be no place to hide, and some have tried to secure an interview with Phil. But Phil is very careful.
Actually, that's not true at all. No big prominent creators were trying to secure an interview with me. Only my trolls were. Like, my detractors wanted me to co-talk to them. It literally was not, a prominent YouTuber who's interested in talking with darksydephil wanted to. The Quartering was the first one. He said, I just want to talk with you and have a conversation. Okay, I'll do it. And everyone was like, what? Yeah, because he approached me nicely. He was nice to me in his approach and said, would you like to do it?
And he gave you all these softball fucking questions because you wouldn't allow him to actually grill you on actual good questions.
I said, yes, sure. And we had a nice, cordial interview. Everyone
a
else
nice
was like,
interview, aka he like basically fucking spoon fed you all the easiest fucking
this
questions.
Awful thing and this terrible thing about your private life. Can we insult you the whole time? No. So I'm not going to talk to you.
Very selective. He only allows those ignorant of his rich history to reach him. And even then, there can be stipulations in place to block some of the most demanding questions. Like, how much does Phil owe? Where do the thousands of dollars in donations end up? Does he believe himself to be financially responsible? And instead of that, viewers got this.
This is the most popular question.
Okay.
You're right. Where did the load go?
Normally, a like-to-dislike ratio is the most basic way to see how much viewers agree with any which video. But this time, there is something better. The Quartering softball interview got 90,000 views. These can represent interest in particularly how many care to view it, how many align with the interview. With that in mind, It's a Gundam, a channel that is hardly DSP-centric, covered the interview and broke down how Phil misrepresents himself while going into some of the deeper Phil lore. It's a Gundam's video blew the Quartering's interview out of the water, as not only was it twice as long as expected from an analysis, but it also stands with 1.6 million views.
Because it's drama. Because it's toxic, negative drama versus a positive interview. On YouTube, toxic, negative drama will always far outshine.
But he was he was cross-referencing and proving you wrong because you were lying a bunch of times.
Something positive. That's not news. That's just matter of fact. People are shitbags, and people like shitbag content. It's a Gundam does not put out good content. Okay, he doesn't. Sorry, he doesn't. His content is not the same as someone who's trying to do it in depth.
I mean, like when I like watching It's a Gundam when he's covering lolcows, like Phil and other lolcows. I like him then. I don't agree with him politically and his political takes or his video game takes. I don't agree with him then. I don't really watch him a whole lot though. Like I said, like every once in a while I'll watch a clip of his or a past stream of his if it's like about other lolcows or whatever. But if it's about like his politics or his political beliefs or video game opinions, I really don't care.
Really critical look at someone like Joon is doing to me.
I'm like, he's technically a part-time detractor, but he's not like focused 100% on DSP or anything.
Me right here. It's a Gundam does not do that. He is a derider. He is a toxic person. He insults constantly.
Just like Keem? Because you were saying all the same shit about Keem before, but now you're sucking his dick, huh? Funny how that works.
Tries to interject himself into other spheres, like he tried to interject himself into my side-scrollers interview. It's trash content.
He didn't try to interject himself. I'm pretty sure Stuttering Craig liked him.
That's why it got views, because people wanted to see someone rip me a new asshole, okay? Quartering didn't. He did, so people went and gave him views.
Because you were lying to the Quartering.
He's well, you see, because he was more critical of Phil, he got more views. No, it's because he was mean to me. People want to see people be mean to me, and then they get views on it. How do you think detractors exist, right? This is pretty common sense right here.
Even then, It's a Gundam willingly skipped over or just summarized much of the Phil lore only pertinent to the interview. Phil's endless list of controversial moments was in the end helping him. Even if Phil acts dastardly, there is so much information needed to understand how all its controversies tie into one another, that virtually anyone not in the detractor community is indifferent to anything non-viral that Phil does.
I mean, that is true. Like, in order to get the full scope of how much of a total asshole Phil is, you really gotta go down the rabbit hole. Really bad. It's like there's so much old buried lore, and anyone looking from the outside just sees kind of a boring person who's like not really that bad, like unless he says something really, really stupid that goes really, really viral. But other than that, it's like anyone from the outside just sees like a boring person. They don't see the full extent of how much of a dick he is, right? Because you really got to do your own research.
What's a drop in an already overflowing bucket? What also helps Phil are his worst trolls that allow him to misrepresent and discredit the detractor community as a whole. On Kiwi farms, doxings are a common sight. Information spread for the sake of harassment. At one point, these were not so common until one individual showed up on the farms. A user that went by Nigel of UKIP. For what would be the next couple of years, this individual will freely dox those in Phil's vortex. It's hard to say how he was doing it. He could have had insider information and somehow used the donor's PayPal information to craft a dox, or simply just searched for usernames across social media websites until he found commonalities, ultimately leading to the dogs of those within the Phil sphere.
He was an incredible, no-life loser who literally had nothing to do all day. No responsibilities in life, so he could just sit there all day searching the internet. It's that simple.
The only other...
Because the thing I know, because a lot of people who were afraid of being doxxed by him, I was like, the only way he can get your information is if you have shit public. And the people who I told that were never doxxed by him because they went and had nothing public and they were fine. It's only people who had a Facebook that was public, a Twitter that was public, another thing, and you have all your information, your real life information there, and that's how they would get doxxed. He literally never got behind the scenes information on anyone. He just had the incredible amount of time to scour the whole internet for everyone's public information.
Other strange instance of doxing was from a different...
I mean, you don't know that 100% either. I mean, he could have been a hacker or something like that. But imagine being a fan of someone, and in order to feel safe being a fan of that person, you have to go and private all your social media accounts. Because God forbid someone finds out that, or God forbid the person that you enjoy watching is such a piece of shit that you gotta feel safe by privating all your information. You can't actually like live your life and like a normal person just because you're watching a horrible asshole. I mean, obviously, I don't condone doxing at all anyway. I don't condone that at all. And that he was wrong for doing so, obviously. But still.
Difficult to cover story as the relevant threads.
He's just making random assumptions on a person.
And of course, the Wayback Machine excludes Kiwi Farms. All that is left are recollections and videos that serve of evidence of its existence. Quote, here's a pretty good recap of the entire docu-show. But since the thread itself has apparently been nuked, I'll just add some context and missing details for anyone who wasn't around back then. It was known as the January Harvest of 2018.
I had no idea it was some big event. I just knew that all this shit was going on at one point.
Started because BSV got into a tangle with the nasty on here. Apparently got stupid ugly, families threatened, etc. The KF dog sluts issued an ultimatum to DSP. Admit publicly to your tardians that your main paywall, BSV, has been saying doing some stupid shit. Which is, at the time, or where going to drop a super dox at a rate of 1 per day on your The King of Hate Farm Dwelling Redacted.
Oh yeah, so I guess he was a supporter of mine, a Brightside Viking or something, I think his name was. And he
don't act like you didn't know who Brightside Viking was. He was like one of your biggest supporters at the time, and he was going full tard mode on Kiwi Farms.
Became a moderator. They literally said, you better, like it was extortion. So you better say all this stuff about what this guy says. And
no, you just better tell your audience the truth that he was a fucking idiot. That's all.
Does in private. If you don't, we're going to dox one person.
No. He didn't say anything about what he does in private. Just that he's been saying and doing stupid shit on his own time. That's all you had to say.
I don't respond to threats very well. At all. For the record. So I said, fuck you. Do what you need to do. You can go fuck yourself. And then they went and did whatever they did, and I literally paid no attention to it at all. I didn't care. I didn't want anything to do with it. Go do it. If you want to commit crimes, if you want to fuck around, go for it. But I'm going to have nothing to do with it. I'm not going to respond to extortion and blackmail. Fuck off.
This will begin on X date and continue until you have done this one simple and justified and true thing. Basically just disavow BSV's behavior. Lol, unironic Freedom Forum members and Kiwis with trolling accounts over there alike and become tremble with fear. No one is safe, lol. Philip Piss.
Listen to how this guy types. Could you just type in English instead of your little fucking troll speak? It makes you look like a fucking antisocial loser. Oh,
okay. So saying LOL in a comment. Oh my god, that's troll speak. Okay, you got that? So like you can't actually say LOL in a sentence without being a troll, apparently. What?
excuse me.
And like Phil says this like as if Phil uses proper English all the fucking time. Get out of
Look like that.
here.
You are one. That's why you type
Baby
like
fuck you, Burnell responds by shoving his head in the quicksand. Turbo doxing commences. After like 3 days of this Waco standoff, his terrified forum users go from screaming at Phil to do something to stop this and to a 5-alarm dumpster fire. Standoff continues until Phil's revenue begins tanking a bit. He's now forced to address this matter on air.
Yeah, I said it was happening, and I said, fuck you, I'm not doing anything about it.
Nothing. Says nothing he was told to admit. Advises his audience that anything the bad doxing men have done to them is their fault. Not his, because they're stupid and they use his forum.
No, I said, if you are using public social media and you're putting your information out there publicly, people are going to find it and hurt you. You have to be incredibly careful. I didn't say, because you're on my forum, it's your fault that you're getting doxxed. That's not true.
That's kind of a roundabout, essential way of what you were saying, though, to be honest.
But of course, this moron spins it like that.
Oh, this moron.
And have personal shit in their online profiles that anyone can see.
You can't put personal shit in your online profile that anyone can see. People will use that against you. You have to have an online persona that's detached from your real life person. It's that simple. The internet ain't a safe place anymore. It's really not.
Which would have been his one valid argument in all this if it hadn't been tendered in his signature blame-shifting desperation.
No, this is your spin on it because you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking antisocial loser and you hate me, so you say that. No, I didn't say put it and spin it with anything else. That's exactly what I said. Don't put your private information to the public because they will use it to hurt you.
And also contradiction by some other horseshit he said 30 seconds later. The victims of these cyberbullies shoulder all the blame in this, and everyone is stupid because you should just know that any internet presence
yes, of course, that's exactly word for word how I put it. Sure.
puts you at risk of, well, everything. NMF and ICD. Dox Harvest continues. Despite having zero leverage, Fatboy gives the infamous 19-hour olive branch speech as a counteroffer to everyone who doesn't dick ride him on the internet. Peaceful coexistence? Okay. No more talking shit from either side? Sound good?
That's right. What I said was, listen, we just won't talk shit about each other anymore. You ignore me, I ignore you. You know, of course, that's not what they wanted.
No one's going to do that. Why would they do that? That doesn't benefit anyone.
9 seconds later, he resumes talking shit about detractors. No negotiating with terrorists, though. Harvest continues. Harvest got tedious as it quickly became obvious that most of the people that orbit him are boring turbospads.
Wrong. The Harvest got tedious because everyone listened to me and ignored it. Because the best way to defeat a troll is to ignore their existence.
Yes, something you have a good track record of doing, huh, Phil? You have a perfect track record of ignoring trolls. Yeah.
Once you ignore them and they're getting no attention for what they're doing, they realize no one cares about them and it's just a waste of their time, and then they move on. That's exactly what happened. My strategy worked. Ignore the nonsense, ignore the morons,
Phil.
and they will disappear on their own. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Minor wheelchair exodus. Harvest ends. Phil advises the internet that this constitutes a hard W for him.
Because it was.
Nope.
Because it was.
No, it wasn't, Phil. Like, all you had to do was, like, yeah, Brightside, I don't agree with anything Brightside Viking is doing. Maybe you shouldn't do that. That's all you had to say. Instead, you lost how many actual fans of yours because of this whole situation. Not to mention a roundabout way that you were kind of blaming your fans for having public accounts.
Oh, to see the world through the blurry Jane goggles.
No, there's no goggles. I won. I didn't negotiate with someone who was trying to extort me. They went away. I won. You lose.
I mean, no one lost except for you because you're the one who lost fans. We don't care.
Simple math.
Of squinty dead eyes. Phil resumes pushing buttons. Unquote. That was a quick rundown of what was called the January Harvest. The user also linked to a longer rundown of 3 videos. The overall runtime of those videos are 4.5 hours. As a reminder, these videos are considered the insignificant parts of Phil's history. The larger portions have longer running history and tie themselves well together. Like at the start of 2020, there were 2 things around Phil being discussed. A bankruptcy.
Alright, I think I'm actually going to end this stream here. I wanted to get through the whole thing, but I kind of like got distracted a few times and I was pausing too much. But we're right at the 2-hour mark. So I'm hoping maybe next week I'll be able to finish this and then maybe do some like catch up DSP clips and reacts after that next week or something like that. But it's getting a little late and I still got a few things I got to do before I go to bed. So I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for stopping by. I do apologize. I was kind of hoping I could finish this, but with how often Phil fucking pauses everything too. Look at that fucking asshole. What an idiot. But I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Have a good one.